can.
And how do you feel about serving this nation as part of the United States Marines?
I feel really great about it. I mean, really, anyone in the U.S. military that serves, they join to give back to the country. Whether I'm working with wounded warriors, putting out their stories on their injuries and how they go throughout life, or if it's a community service event out in town and Marines are, handing out food to people, or people are coming on base, or Marines are flying in the skies training and going to islands out in the Pacific Ocean and training to fight our wars overseas.
Sergeant Max Pennington of the United States Marine Corps, thank you for spending time with me and my listeners today. We're grateful for your good service. May God bless you and your family as you continue to serve in the Corps and in the future. We honor you, Sergeant Max Pennington, as our hero of the week.
Thank you very much, sir.
Serving God and America, this is the Crawford Broadcasting Company.
KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560, a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60, 7.5. So just 4 miles, 13.40. 390 horsepower. 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance thing is what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
All right, everybody, good morning and welcome to Drive Radio. And I am your host, John Rush. And in studio with me today, we've got Steve Horvath from Geno's and Randy Hunt from Toyota. Welcome, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Two of my favorite people to come do the radio show with. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you coming down and helping out. And actually, we have great guests. I say that a lot because everybody that comes on this show and helps out are great individuals, or quite frankly, we wouldn't have them with us, would we, guys?
That's right.
That's the beauty of being in charge of the show itself, and we can pick who comes and who doesn't, and who goes. Exactly. So it works out really well. So we always have great guests, and I appreciate everybody that works hard to make this thing happen on a weekly basis. Also, thank you guys as listeners that are out there. It's because of you that we even do this, and we get lots of great comments through the week, and really do appreciate it. So today, what's in store for you? Well, we've got a lot going on. A couple announcements to make. Let's just get those out of the way. Next week is the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rocky Mountain Auto Show. That's the 28th, the 29th, and 30th of November. And it'll actually be a great show. And we're going to do something special with that show next week. We'll have a roving reporter that'll run around and give some feedback on what's going on. We tried to actually get out there and do a remote from there, but didn't quite have all of the right things in order to make that happen. Power, all sorts of things. There's a lot of logistical things that you have to be ahead of the curve on to get done. Randy knows about how that stuff works when you do those things. That's all union driven, et cetera. And you don't just go plug in a cord, do you, Randy?
No, I've worked at a number of auto shows, and you think just to go get a box of brochures would be something simple, and it's not.
Exactly. So that's why we're not there. We will do our best to still make that show a success, and it'll be a lot of fun. But I encourage you to go out there and enjoy it. We will have 6 tickets today and 6 tickets next week to give away. So you guys on the studio side of the fence, once we figure out how we're going to give these away, all we need from people is their first, last name, and let's do a cell phone number. We'll put those in will call, so just make sure that when we get some phone calls in on those, we'll do that. We'll have 3 pairs, basically, of tickets to give away this week and next. So stay tuned to Drive Radio. Don't go away. We'll announce that a little later as we go through it. We'll probably do 2 this hour, 2 the next, and 2 the next. Is kind of the way I figured we'd do that. And you'll have plenty of time to be, ready to be able to go out and do that show and have a good time. And again, that's next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and there'll be a lot of cool cars. And by the way, it's not all just old custom cars. It's everything you can imagine. I think they're even going to have one of the new Jaguar F-Types, which, by the way, I'm driving this week as a press car. They're going to have that car out there, which is just a phenomenal car, and things like that. So there'll be a lot of cool things. You're not going to want to miss it, so that's a great thing. Also, there's a Evil Souls Car Club is having their toy drive at the VFW Post 4171 in Golden. That's the 6th of December, 6 p.m. I'll have more on our Facebook page about that, so make sure that you're watching for those things. And then Mike Train's going to be on, our station manager. He's going to come on about 12:30 today and talk about ways that you can get involved with some of the charitable organizations that we've got here at KLZ. Drive Radio is going to take a part in it. One of them is a single mom a driven ministry that we can actually take part in. And it's not that they're looking for money. They're looking for talent where you can go help a single mom with, construction projects around the home, car related things. Fits right in with what we do here on a weekly basis. So we'll hear more about that at 12:30. But hey, we do want to talk to you guys. So whenever you've got questions, etc., give us a call, 303-477-5600. We'd love to hear from you. We'll get you right on there, answer those questions. Lots going on. Also have some things today, some tips on how to be safe when you're out shopping. So guys, if you have some ladies in your life that you think should listen to that, have them tune in. I won't do this quite yet. We'll get into this as we get into probably the 10:30-ish on side of the fence. So if you want them to tune in, I've got lots of tips. In fact, I think, and I haven't counted them up, but there's at least 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I bet I've got 25 tips. Some of them I stole off the internet. Some of them I thought on my own. Some of them is what I do when we go to the shopping mall. Where do you park? What do you do? How do you handle your packages? What do you do when you're inside the mall? All those different things. And what spurred this along is just recently, back east, there was a couple that basically the gentleman lost his life because somebody stole the car out in the parking lot.
Oh, really?
And they had targeted him. They'd watched the vehicle drive around. He was driving a Range Rover, high-end luxury SUV. They watched him, and there was a struggle. He was shot, killed, all at the shopping mall. So that's what spurred this along. There's ways to avoid that. We want to make sure that you stay safe when you're out shopping. And then, of course, Randy Hunt's here. We're going to talk about all things Toyota today. A lot of cool things that have come out from Toyota here in the very recent past. In fact, just in the last month, there's been some very cool things that have come out. We'll talk about some of those things as we go through the show today. But again, we really want to hear from you. Any specific questions for Randy? That's what he's here for, 303-477-5600. And we'd love to have you talk with him about anything that you've got. Randy, your position changed a little bit, right?
Correct. I used to be the vehicle product training specialist, and now I'm a district service and parts manager. So I cover... The market I cover is Nevada.
Okay.
So I've got 9 dealerships in northern and southern Nevada, and I work with them on all things parts and service, whether it's having the right parts in stock.
So how does that work, being here and stationed here, living here, and yet working mostly in south of here?
I spend a lot of time on the airplane and in hotels and in cars. I just flew back from Reno yesterday.
I don't envy you.
And I fly out to Las Vegas on Monday.
Okay.
We've got our auto show there, so we're getting ready for that.
Got it.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So,
Go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of stuff between the north and south of Nevada.
No, there's not.
It's pretty,
Unfortunately,
either north or south.
drive before.
No, there's not. There's a lot of open space. Let's just say that.
There's some weird stuff out there, too. You drive by.
That's right, Area 51 folks out there and all that. Yeah, I forgot.
But it's weird when you're driving through that part of Nevada and you drive by the National Undersea Warfare Center. And you just wonder what.
The National Undersea Warfare Center.
Yes.
In the middle of Nevada.
It's in Walker Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what happens out there.
Maybe some of you listening do. You can fill us in. Again, we'd love to hear from you. 303-477-5600. And and by the way, I appreciate Randy so much. He's become a really good friend of our show. Anytime I've got a Toyota issue at all that comes up, he's the first guy I pop an email out to. And we have helped a lot of you listeners over the years that way, and really do appreciate Randy and his partnership with the show. And really, I'll say this even further. All that Toyota does, they're really good to me personally. They've done a great job of filling me with product that I can then talk about on air and talk to all of you about, and have really become a great partner of Drive Radio. And I appreciate Toyota, very much. They do a great job. They build some great vehicles. It's a great company. They actually build. Randy, you could probably correct me on this, but I think you guys build more cars in North America than some of what used to be called the Big Three do. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number breakdown. About 70% of what we sell here is built in North America. Majority of it in the States.
Right.
We've got 2 plants in Ontario, Canada, and one in just south of the border in Tijuana, Mexico.
Got it. So a lot of production here in North America.
Absolutely, and that's the assembly plants, but then we also have affiliates and suppliers.
Right.
Bodine Aluminum is a Toyota-owned company, and they make aluminum blocks and cylinder heads and all that kind of stuff. Hino Trucks, that's a Toyota company. Right. They build trucks here in the States and other parts. So pretty big presence.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we'll continue to talk about that. Stay tuned in, ask questions. Again, Randy's our local, he is the Toyota expert. So if you've got a Toyota question, he's the guy to ask, and we get some really fun questions. Why is there no diesel in a Tacoma? Well, that's usually the biggest question we get. But anyways, those are questions we'll answer. Give us a call. We're going to keep you safe shopping, talk about what you can do to make sure your car is safe and sound for this Thanksgiving season and then on into Christmas. But give us a call, 303-477-5600. Bill is up first. Bill, what's going on today?
Oh, hi. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for calling, Bill.
Love your show.
Thank you.
Got a 97 Ford Expedition.
Okay.
Running really rough idle.
Okay.
Earlier in the week, I did get some gas at what you guys would call one of the non-top tier stations. I did fill it up.
Okay.
I replaced the fuel filter. I replaced the IAC. Is that right?
Yep. Idle air control motor.
Yeah. And I put in a can of the BK44.
BG44K.
Right.
Got it.
What do you guys think of that stuff?
It's a good product. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's a good
But
product.
still, it's a rough idle. It starts okay. It'll run for 10, 20 seconds and then converts to a rough idle, especially when you put it in reverse.
Okay. And those on the 5.4 could be caused by multiple things. Steve knows this as well, but you've got coil packs on the plug that can cause problems. Injectors on that engine can cause problems. You really are going to have to get somebody with the right scan tool to actually watch the live data and determine what's going on with that engine to determine where the mist is coming.
Right, and I do apologize. I forgot to mention no error codes.
Okay.
Other than one day, I did get a miss just briefly at cylinder 5 and 6, but I raced those and then they never came back.
And it's not uncommon, especially in 97, the technology on the OBD2 side of the fence wasn't quite as developed as it is today. You guys all know what I'm talking about here in the room. Randy and Steve know what I'm talking about. 97 was really kind of the first year of it was the first year of OBD2. So it really, but there's still a problem in why it's making the engine run rough.
Sure, so I understand. You want me to bring it into one of the guys and have them do live data?
Yeah, you need live data to determine on a 5.4. That's really important. I mean, even as a fleet owner, I've got several 5.4s in my fleet. I think 4 or 5 of them actually. And the same thing happens when the guys will come in and say, "Hey, we've got a miss in truck number such and such." I'm like, "Okay, you put the scan tool on it yet?" "Well, no." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what are you waiting for?" It's the only way you're going to get a 5.4 fixed is to watch, live. Because my guys will cheat, do the same thing a lot of shops do. You open a code reader or something and, hey, there's no codes, there's nothing simple. What do you think it is? Well, until I have more info, I don't know.
Right. No, I appreciate that because, being the average mechanic, I probably would throw another $50, $100.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that because it could be something as simple as an injector that's bad. It could be a coil pack that's gone bad. It could be a spark plug itself that goes bad. Again, a 5.4, they're very finicky when it comes to some of those things we just mentioned. The other thing a 5.4 is really critical on is using the exact spark plugs that the vehicle came with.
Okay.
That's true actually with every car, but 5.4s especially.
Okay. Hey, can I add on 2 things just to show you?
Go ahead.
what a loyal listener I am. A couple weeks ago, you were talking about Air Care Colorado, and of course,
Yes.
I would agree. Even on the 97, every year that thing passes.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
I would agree to you guys. Right on, we should convert to a safety inspection. And to reach further back to your shows, you did talk about the registration fee.
Yes.
I would beg to differ. I do believe that the drivers around here that are of lesser income maybe should pay less for registration fees. And I think
Why?
The car is of less value, and I understood your point.
Yeah, but it's the same wear and tear on the road that you and I as taxpayers are paying to fix. So, you know, I struggle with that one because I know where you're coming from, but it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. That's what you're really saying is, no offense, but now we're getting back to the rich should pay more and the poor should pay less. So we're going to take from the poor to give to the rich, and that's not a good system.
Right. No, I know my argument's not sound either.
And I know where you're coming from. And I am not opposed to, as a vehicle continues to age and you know it's not going to put as many miles on the road, thereby giving that vehicle a discount. That I have no issues with whatsoever.
Sure.
Now, where is that threshold? Is it 10 years, 12 years? You know, we're running around right now with a fleet on the road today that is about 10 and a half years old. So should that be the threshold? We look at the average, age of a vehicle on the road, and that's where the cutoff is. I'd be okay with that.
Interesting. No, that's valuable. I appreciate that. Again, thanks a lot.
No, appreciate it, Bill. And by the way, while I still have you on the air, you brought up something I was going to talk about anyways. There is some updates to the top tier sites. Somebody brought this to my attention yesterday, one of our listeners, and there's some new stations in Colorado. So while you said that, I'm going to segue into this as soon as we come back. So stay tuned, Bill. I'm going to give an update on what top tier fuel stations are actually now in Colorado because we got a few more around us.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate it, Bill. All right. We'll be back. Talk about that. I'll add those stations. Randy in Castle Rock, hang tight. We'll get your trans question as soon as we come back. And Dennis in Denver has an F-150 news item. Great. We'll listen to those. Hang with us. John Rush, Randy Hunt, Steve Horvath here on Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
We've all been there.
He has a Thanksgiving question.
Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right part store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Need a one-stop auto repair solution in northern Colorado? At Fort Collins 4x4 Center, they service and maintain more than just 4x4s. From diesel pickups to economy cars, their team of service specialists and technicians have the computer diagnostics, tools, and expertise to service and repair any make or model. They combine their skills with integrity, giving you the best service in the industry. From preventative maintenance to major repairs, you can trust your vehicle to Fort Collins 4x4. Located just a few blocks north of Old Town on College Avenue in Hemlock. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 until 5:30, with convenient shuttle service and after-hours drop. If you're ready to form a solid relationship with an auto repair shop, the new owners at Fort Collins 4x4 are committed to providing the professional and personal service you're looking for. Give them a call at 970-482-5500. 970-482-5500. Check them out on the web at FortCollins4x4.com or follow them on Facebook at FortCollins4x4.com.
Do you love things that require gas or diesel fuel to run? Do you need a job? Are you just looking for a change? Napa Auto Parts is looking for delivery drivers and salespeople in all locations in the Denver metro area. If you have experience in the industry, that helps, but it is not mandatory. Please go to NapaAutoJobs.com. Again, that's NapaAutoJobs.com and fill out the application. Please mention Drive Radio on that application. Napa Auto Parts, an equal opportunity employer.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com. or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right, we're back. Drive Radio, John Rush, your host, and new additions to the top tier fuel stations in our area. This is gonna thrill a lot of you. You no longer have to drive to just Shell or Conoco. So, and Costco, of course, got added into that about, I don't know, a year or so ago, beginning of the year maybe. So here's the new stations in our area: Conoco, Costco, Diamond Shamrock, Phillips 66, Shell, Sinclair, Suncor, which I know they have a refinery. I don't know if they have any stations here. I don't think they do, but Suncor as a refinery, and if you see any Suncor stations, they're top tier, and Valero. So, guys, that added a lot of stations to our area that are now top tier approved fuels. So, again, I'm going to repeat that, and I put this on the Facebook page already. But Conoco, Costco, Diamond Shamrock, Phillips 66, Shell, Sinclair, Suncor, and Valero are now all top tier stations. So, to win some tickets for next week's car show, here is the question. You'll just have to call in as the lines, get free, and you can give this answer to Larry off air. What year did the United States start celebrating Thanksgiving officially? So I want the official date that we actually started, when the proclamation was made. When did we actually start celebrating Thanksgiving? Call Larry, give him that answer. We'll get you some free tickets. We have 6 tickets total today to give away. We just need your name, first name, last name, and a phone number. So when you go to will call, they can prove who you are, and we will get you those tickets. So lines are full right now. As soon as somebody drops off, call us. We'll get those answered, and we'll get you taken care of. We'll get you some free tickets. Again, the number to call, 303-477-5600. One other cool thing I need to make an announcement on is if you've got any type of comments about anything, how well we do here on Drive Radio, what you think about the station, what you think about some of the daily programming, just anything you want to add at all. And specifically this week, we'd love to hear from you. What are you thankful for? We'll play some of those recordings on air during the week, and the number to call, the Freedom Phone number, we call it the KLZ 560 Freedom Phone, is 720-541-TALK, 720-541-8255. Call that number. Tell them anything you want to say. You love us. You hate us. You love our programming. You really like Matt, but you don't like me doing it. You'd like to see Matt do the program instead of me. You name it. Call, leave a message. We'll play some of those on there. And most of all, we want to hear about what are you thankful for. We don't want Matt doing the program, he just said. Okay, well, Matt's a good guy. He could do the program. Let's go to Randy at Castle Rock. Randy, what's going on today?
Hey, guys. Since you brought up that gas, I got a quick question on that. Like the Valero and the Diamond and the Sinclair.
Yes.
Are these top tier all of a sudden, or have they been that way for a while and just
somebody sent me a message yesterday and said there's been some additions to top tier. So my gut feeling is I looked at the site, a couple of months ago, and they weren't on there. So I'm guessing this has just happened within the last couple of months or so.
Well, that's good. That's good news.
Yeah, it's great news.
Especially when it's cheaper at Shell than it is at 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven is not a top tier.
And 7-Eleven is not on the list. So unless they're buying their fuel from one of these places, which they are not, I don't believe. So yeah, unless it's one of those places, it's not top tier.
Yeah, and they're 5 or 10 cents more than Shell. So, but anyway, training question here. 99 Jeep Cherokee with our regular oil transmission, we all come in on loud.
Okay.
And an 07 Dodge Caliber has a CVT in it.
Okay.
There's a road I drive on a regular basis. It's got a good grade on it. It's about a half of a quarter mile long. And what I want to know is, when I drive up that road, uphill, I'll take the Jeep up to about 42, where it shifts, gear shift, and it drops me down to about 1.5 RPM.
Okay.
Okay, and that's at about 42. It does that about that. You probably know that. Same speed, same road. I do it on the CVT Dodge, and I'm at 2. And gearing and so on and so forth. Why would the Jeep be 1.5 and the CVT be a 2.5?
Well, first of all, you're basically 10 years newer. The Cherokee doesn't have near the technology in it to even know where to even be at shift point wise from what the 07 does with the CVT. And with the CVT, and Randy can talk about this because Toyota's got several CVTs now. They're naturally going to have a little bit higher RPM when you're in the mode you're discussing. Correct, Randy?
Absolutely.
That just struck me as odd because, the Jeep went down to 1.5. I think, wait a minute, it should be the other way around. CVT should be 1.5.
I don't think you'll get the other thing too. Keep in mind 2 different engines. You're not one and the same when you talk engines in the Jeep versus engines on the Caliber. 2 different torque curves. And by the way, everybody out there listening, what I'm saying applies to almost every car on the road. You can't even take one particular Toyota, we'll compare it to another Toyota and expect the RPM range of each to be the same because they're very likely going to be different.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the only time the difference shows up is on that grade, on that particular speed. Other than that, the CVT is always high lower.
No, great question, by the way.
A comment, not a question, but a comment for your Toyota guy. If I were to pick, and I've had a lot of vehicles, probably just like you, I think the 2 most reliable cars on the road, this is just my opinion, would be the Toyota and the Buick. I mean, those offer nothing but good.
I think they both have very good ratings across the board. Toyota has done a great job, especially of late. Every company, by the way, goes through growing pains, and there's no world. They're as solid a car as you're going to go by, and the reality. And I'm not going to beat up Randy because he's sitting here, but the reality today is there's a lot of good cars on the market. And by the way, that's a good thing because that makes every other car on the market good.
When we talk about the Chevy Cruze, how good that was, that's Chevrolet, but just my opinion, I say the Toyota and Buick. So
good point, Randy. Appreciate the phone call. Thanks so much. Comments, Randy?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you take a look at the new Camry, typically Camry goes 5 or 6 years between redesigns, and because that segment is so competitive.
2 years, right?
2.5. Yeah, about 2.5 years since the last one. And I was just looking online. Just this year in the mid-size sedan segment, you got an all new 200 for Chrysler.
Correct.
New Outback.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, the Legacy.
Oh, new Legacy. That's right.
New Legacy and a new Sonata.
That's right.
Plus the Camry and everything else has been redesigned in the last couple of years.
And by the way, the Camry, make sure my memory is correct. If I'm not mistaken, Randy, isn't it 1,900 points have been changed on Camry for 2015?
Yes.
Everything except the roof is different.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So everything redesigned but the roof.
Yeah. From an exterior sheet metal standpoint, and there's been a lot of changes on the interior to make that a lot more.
They even changed a little bit of the stance of the vehicle, etc. Correct?
Yeah, it's a little wider.
That's right.
And a little bit longer.
So stability's better. It's a little more rigid of a car than it used to be. It's quieter. I will tell you that. I just drove one. I've got one coming where I'll have it for a week to drive here in the near future. But I went to a launch here in Denver, which I talked about on the radio not that long ago, and the car is definitely quieter than previous generations. And I'll be the first to admit it. I used to pick on Toyota a lot in my reviews about interior noise. That's a big deal for me. You're going to go buy a new car. I don't care what it is. It ought to be quiet on the inside. That's just my own gut feeling. I realize that a lot of that has to do with luxury and cost and all those different things. But I'm just a big one on if the car is going to be new, it ought to be quiet. And Toyota for a while didn't have the most quiet cars on the road. That has changed. I will give them that. In the last, 3 years especially, I'm going to say, they have gotten much quieter. They're using different materials. They figured out how to get some of the noise deadening, things figured out. You look at the underpan and even the wheel wells and see different materials there now than what they used to use. And all of that is to control what I just got done talking about. So
absolutely.
Yeah, cabin noise is a big deal.
I think he did a review of the Highlander, which was new about a year ago, and that's a fantastic car.
That's one of my favorite cars on the road today, by the way. I love the Highlander. So call us. What was the year the United States started celebrating Thanksgiving officially? Give us that year. You can win 2 tickets to next week's auto show. Again, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you won't want to miss it. That's going to be a great show. All right, let's take one more call before we go to the break. Dennis in Denver, welcome. What's going on, Dennis?
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, great. How are you doing?
Good.
Happy Thanksgiving, Dennis.
To you as well. You as well. Did you catch NBC News article about a week ago about the Ford F-150?
I read bits and pieces about it. Fill me in.
Well, it turns out, much like what Boeing did with the 747, they bet the entire company on the success of the 747, even to the point of building the world's largest building to assemble it.
Wow.
Ford has done the same thing with the F-150.
Really? So they bet the farm on the F-150.
It turns out, according to this news item, that the F-150 is responsible for 90% of Ford's profits.
That I would, and I've read that. That's a very true statement.
So they have ripped out all of the assembly equipment for the steel-bodied F-150.
Yes.
And replaced it with an entire aluminum assembly line.
Yep.
So the steel-bodied F-150s are done.
No, yeah, you're right. They're done. That ended. In fact, the new F-150 started rolling out. In fact, there was a launch here in Denver, and it happened to be on one of our snow days that, you know, my world, and I just can't do that on a snow day, and so I missed it here locally. I've read enough about it, though, where I think everything you're saying is correct. Will this be a win for them? You know, we'll let Randy chime in after the break and see what he thinks in regards to Tacoma, et cetera. With gas prices being, you know, cheaper, the manufacturers make a lot more money when they sell pickups and the bigger SUVs, et cetera. The profit margin, there's no secrets there. The profit margins are larger in those segments than they are selling a Yaris, for example.
Well, and it's interesting because they said that they saved 800 pounds of weight.
Yes.
Which the other thing I didn't think of is knocking that 800 pounds off. They can carry a heavier
That's
payload.
right. Put more payload in it. That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
So and all those things help, and so that, you know, will that be enough to sway folks out there, you know, to buy an F-150? That's a great question. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on one once they come out in the press. I'll be the first to admit, and if there's some Ford folks listening, shame on you. You do not give the real press guys. What I mean by that is, I'm a car guy. I know cars very well, but I can't get in the front seat of a Ford for my life. Ford has a tendency to put bloggers and people that don't know anything about cars in the front seat of them versus a car guy like myself, which to me makes no sense.
Yeah, and
not a knock. That's just the facts right now.
It'll be interesting to see about the aftermarket repair side, because they're saying these are not simply an aluminum body panel. They're laminated and they're actually stronger than steel.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis, keep that thought. We're up against the break. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. Appreciate you calling in, though.
Very well.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate it. Let's talk about more F-150. Tacoma, we've got some other new products coming out from Toyota we want to also talk about. Line open, 303-477-5600. Jim has actually a new Tacoma Pro question. We'll get to him as soon as we come back. Jim, hang with us. We'll get you with Randy right after these messages. Don't go away. John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Having transmission problems? Stop by Larry's Automotive today. We're your only Colorado Select Auto Care in North Denver that also specializes in automatic and manual transmissions. We're a family-owned small business taking care of your family-owned fleet of cars, trucks, and SUVs since 1994. We specialize in transmission and drivetrain problems and offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. We're also an ATRA member. Call us at 303-427-2108 for an appointment, or find us on the web at coloradoselect.com. Larry's Automotive, a proud member of Colorado Select Auto Care.
K&N's premium oil filters are very different. They make oil changes easier. K&N's Red Shop oil filters have a 1-inch nut welded on the top, so you can easily change the filter with a wrench or ratchet. And used with a Ziploc freezer bag, you can even remove a K&N oil filter with no oil spillage at all. Another great product from K&N, an American manufacturer since 1969.
Your wheel alignment can affect tire wear and fuel mileage that will cost you more for repairs and fuel. Arvada West uses state-of-the-art 3D imaging to align all 4 wheels of your vehicle. Be aware that irregular tire wear could also cause the need for additional alignment parts. Stop in or call us for our alignment special. Mention this ad and we'll inspect your vehicle and check your alignment, starting at $69.95. Call Arvada West Auto at 303-422-1065. Stop by 11752 West 64th Avenue or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com.
Drive Radio is the presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for the highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business, so Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For a complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
At Napa, we're always trying to make the great parts we sell even better. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And every Napa part is covered by a warranty good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but we've spent the last 8 years making sure we were anything but average. Go to NapaOnline.com for a location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
All right, and we are back, John Rush Drive Radio, and just a little insight on how our car reviews work. By the way, I just put several up on our YouTube page. It's Drive Radio, all one word, on YouTube. They're all done by video now. I just put up an M4, which, by the way, is a fantastic car to drive. That car is just scary fast the way it runs. It's almost as fast. In fact, it's only a tenth of a second slower than this Jaguar that I'm driving, just to show you how well that M4 works. And the Jaguar is 102,000 and the M4 is like 86,000, both very, very high-end cars. But there's a big difference between price, and yet the M4 performs extremely well. Not that it's the Jag, but it's an M4 and they work fantastic. So those reviews are all there. My point being, I don't get to pick what I drive. There's only one exception to that. Toyota is extremely kind to me. They actually tell me, this is what's in our fleet in your area. What do you want to drive? What do you want to review for your listeners? I then get to pick and select. They schedule them. It's the only company out there where I know what's in the fleet here in town, and I get to choose what I want to drive for you guys as listeners, which, by the way, is a huge advantage for me, helping you guys choose what vehicles to drive. I wish all the other companies did that, but as I spoke about a moment ago, I haven't driven a Ford in a year and a half. Nothing against Ford. I just haven't been behind the wheel of one, which we've got the largest talk show, automotively speaking, in the whole state. Why I can't get behind the wheel of a Ford, I don't know. So Ford, if you're listening, I hope you're paying attention. Let's go to Jim in Centennial. Jim, welcome. What's going on?
Hi, how are you doing? I have a question for your Toyota guy there.
Great.
Go ahead.
I'm interested in this the new CRD Pro you have out.
Okay.
First of all, big shout out for not radically changing the Tacoma going to the 15 series. So I have an 04 4Runner, and when they made the change to the next generation from there, where they dropped the V8 and made it bigger and square and put those Lego lights on it, I was scared to death you guys were going to do something like that with the Tacoma. So big shout out for not doing that.
Well,
first of all,
you're welcome for now.
Stay tuned, in other words.
Anyway, is the Pro, is that just a package, or it's kind of hard to find information on the website
I did a review on one of those. It was a prototype car, and you can actually go to the YouTube channel I just mentioned. Go to Drive Radio, all one word, inside of the YouTube search bar. You'll see them there. And I did a 4Runner TRD, which you can kind of see up close what some of it is. It's not just a appearance package, because there is a suspension differences and things along those lines. Tires and wheels, suspension. There are some different things as far as how the vehicle looks. And I'm not speaking for Randy, but I did get the chance to be behind the wheel of one of those. And Randy, am I correct in all of that?
That is correct. It's actually a separate model number in our system, so it's not we have what you call port installed or factory options. So this is actually a completely separate model. As John mentioned, it's got different springs, different shocks,
tire and wheel package, flares and things like that are done differently. Color combinations are different.
Yeah, and the one thing that's a little challenging with that particular truck is it's very low volume.
Yeah,
it comes in 3 colors: white, black, and Inferno, which is kind of a orange color. Right? Yeah, And the way we're building them, because of the factory limitations in Tacoma, that's been, gosh, we're going on, I don't know, 10, 11 years on that particular body style. We can't keep them in stock. Our plants are running at maximum capacity to build those. So to, allocate.
So if you want one, you better get one, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, well, it's, we're only building for our region, which we cover 6 states and 71 dealers. I think we're getting about 30 of these Tacomas a month. So it's very limited, and they're, they'll build 1 month, they'll build black ones, 1 month they'll build orange, 1 month they'll.
One of these, send me an email, I'll get you in contact with Randy, and we'll figure out how to get one in your hands. How does that sound?
Yeah, and plus, I'm looking at the Access cab versus the double cab, which seems to be even more rare.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is this just something you just kind of have to order and wait for it?
Yeah, and our dealers, if you will, they might ask you for a deposit check, which they won't cash until you take delivery in most cases. But we do honor those sold order requests if they are.
Speeds it up a little bit.
Yeah, if they are legitimate.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not no huge hurry, but I know they're limited, and I can wait. If it's what I want, I'm going to wait for it. So.
No, I would. And by the way, I love driving the vehicle. My son thought the thing was just fantastic, Jim, and I liked it very well. It's a great package. In fact, the fact that everything is factory installed, not to take anything away from the aftermarket, but having it all factory installed and done properly from that side of the fence is very cool.
Okay. Yeah, there's just not much information on the website.
There's not.
You got to go to a dealer and trying to see what options you can put on it and all that kind of stuff.
Not a lot, because it pretty much comes with
everything on
this is it. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great.
And again, feel free to go to the YouTube site. We did a full, I did about a 10, 12-minute review on it. Feel free to go there and you'll learn more about it.
You did it on the Tacoma?
I did it on the 4Runner, which, again, the packaging side of it, those all the same from each one.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, Jim.
All right, thanks very much.
I appreciate the phone call. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a very cool. That was a fun vehicle to drive. I didn't have it a full week because it was in the press fleets, and that was another one where not everybody got that vehicle, but I was privileged enough to say, hey, John, there's one in your area. Would you like to get on the list? And not everybody's going to be able to have access to it. And again, Toyota, thank you. Those are the things that even help our listeners out, because now Jim calls in. I've got more information to give out that I wouldn't have had I not had one of those in my hand. Why other manufacturers haven't figured that out, Randy, I don't know, but you guys have them. So hats off to you.
Just one quick note about the TRD Pro Series. So they come in Tundra, 4Runner, and Tacoma.
Correct.
And the Baja 1000 was just a little over a week ago, and Toyota sponsored or prepped the truck, a Tundra, the Crew Max version. It had some modifications as it's allowed in the stock class,
right?
But it finished first in its class.
Awesome. Awesome. Good job.
One flat tire, and of course they had to fill it with fuel and replace filters throughout the race. The only damage, and you can find pictures online, it's pretty funny. They had a dune buggy towards the end of the race, so the whole driver's side is sliced open from hitting that truck, but it still runs just like it came off the showroom floor. And instead of trailering it back to LA, they drove it from La Paz all the way back to LA. And it's at our national headquarters there.
Awesome.
So you might be able to see it on Auto Show Circuit.
Very cool.
As we go forward.
That's very cool. All right, let's go to Frank and Bailey, who's up next. One line open, 303-477-5600. Again, if you want some free tickets next week's, I should say, I didn't say that correctly. My grammar wasn't correct. Next week's auto show, it is the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rocky Mountain Auto Show, the 28th, 29th, and 30th. If you'd like a pair of free tickets, call us and tell us what year the United States officially started celebrating Thanksgiving. In other words, when was the proclamation made? Let us know that, and we will get you 2 free tickets. Frank, welcome. What's going on today?
Hi, John. I'm the guy that's fighting the 89 Jeep Cherokee Laredo we'll continue to run after you come off the start position.
Okay.
Last week you recommended I change the crank position sensor.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I did it. It didn't help.
Okay.
I have gone through it. I have mated and unmated all the weather pack connectors I can see, all the relays I can see. The problem is the damn thing is intermittently does it. I can't make it do it consistently.
Got it.
Have you got any suggestions short of me dropping the grand on a DRV2 tester?
And going from my memory from last week, it basically every now and then just won't start, correct?
Well, it starts, the engine fires, but it immediately dies.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, so it's fine. What have you done in regards to fuel, checking fuel pump pressures, all that sort of stuff?
Okay, what I did do is I pulled the vacuum line off the fuel pressure regulator to make sure that diaphragm wasn't screwed up.
But you don't know when it's doing that if you have full pressure or not?
No, sir, I do not.
I would do that next. And a pressure tester is way cheaper than a DRV.
Oh, I've got a pressure tester.
Okay.
That's not an issue.
Hook that on it when you're having that problem and see what, and I don't know, Steve, do you remember on that Jeep what pressure is supposed to be?
About 31 psi.
Yeah, okay, not much.
Yes.
Have you, the auto shutdown relay and the fuel pump relay, have you done anything with either one of those?
Other than plug them and unplug them, no.
Okay.
Those are right.
Those are the same as the other relays. I'd almost flop them around. I was thinking about flopping them just to see if it goes away.
Okay.
Or buy a new relay. You can pick those up from Napa for, they're not $10-12. That's another easy one to just put in it and try.
Okay.
Kind of like the crank sensor, they're just not that expensive rather than spending and it serves more than $1,000, by the way.
Was it any kind of accident or anything?
No, not that I know of. I've only had it for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
I put a oxygen sensor on it, tuned it up, so forth like that, and it's running fine except for this one occasional malfunction.
And it could be, and I've seen this, and I don't want you to run out and do this right away because it's not cheap, but it could be the computer itself. And I have seen it happen. It's not common, but you don't have a common problem either.
Okay, all right.
So
the only other symptom I've noted, I'll be driving down the road, say 35 mile an hour, cruise, steady speed. It'll miss for just half a second, like it missed a couple pulses.
Okay.
And the other thing will happen, I'm pulling away from a stop sign or a stoplight, and it'll stumble a little bit. But keep your foot in it. You don't have to stump
I look at the fuel system really closely next if it were me.
Okay.
Did you ever pull the cap, distributor cap, and that reluctor in there isn't all chipped away or broken like that? It's just like a Taurus, right?
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah, the wheel is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Pickup wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a Taurus, and a Taurus is notoriously fall apart.
Oh, okay.
And
all right.
maybe that's what when it goes into that second loop and it's supposed to run the cam tester, not picking it up, correct it down, and
okay.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Line open 303-477-5600. And we got more calls coming in for Randy, so stay with us. We're going to take those as soon as we come back. Don't go away. John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Extreme Auto, we're committed to providing the highest level of service possible to our customers. Our highly trained technicians are ASE certified and are dedicated to providing you with world-class service. We have years of experience working on both domestic and import vehicles of all makes and models, and will work with you to find cost-effective repair and maintenance alternatives. We don't have hidden fees, and we don't do unnecessary repairs. Serving Parker and the surrounding areas, come and see us, the professionals at Extreme Auto, and rest easy knowing you'll get quality work done for a fair price. Our promise to you, extreme service, extreme value, extreme satisfaction. Call us to schedule your appointment today.
Ever try to buy an air filter and get lost in catalogs and vehicle descriptions? Well, K&N, the inventor of reusable enter your vehicle identification number off your dashboard or car registration, and K&N will show you the filter that fits your car. It's never been easier to buy a K&N, the filter that helps your car run better.
Need a one-stop auto repair solution in northern Colorado? At Fort Collins 4x4 Center, they service and maintain more than just 4x4s. From diesel pickups to economy cars, their team of service specialists and technicians have the computer diagnostics, tools, and expertise to service and repair any make or model. They combine their skills with integrity, giving you the best service in the industry. From preventative maintenance to major repairs, you can trust your vehicle to Fort Collins 4x4, located just a few blocks north of Old Town on College Avenue in Hemlock. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 until 5:30, with convenient shuttle service and after-hours drop. If you're ready to form a solid relationship with an auto repair shop, the new owners at Fort Collins 4x4 are committed to providing the professional and personal service you're looking for. Give them a call at 970-482-5500. 970-482-5500. Check them out on the web at FortCollins4x4.com or follow them on Facebook at FortCollins4x4.com.
Hunting down that hard-to-find part for an out-of-the-ordinary car can be quite a time-consuming chore. Unless, of course, you just go around the corner to your local Napa Auto Parts store, where we have over 310,000 parts, all of them made to fit and perform just like the original. Yeah, there are people who say it's the journey and not the destination, but those people have never tried to find an alternator for an 82 Fiat on a Saturn. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
I'm going to teach you right now how to find a good, honest mechanic. Ask about the warranty. Their warranty will tell you everything you need to know because their warranty is their word. In Colorado, Select Auto Care Centers all offer the best warranty in the state. 3 years, 36,000 miles on every repair. Always select a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org. 3 years, 36,000 miles. That's all you need to know.
All right, Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, along with Steve Horvath from Gino's Auto Service out in the Littleton area, and Randy Hunt from Toyota itself. We always have a lot of Toyota questions when we do this, which is great. That's why we have Randy on, and I appreciate him taking time out of his weekend to do this. Again, our number 303-477-5600. Let's go to Paul, who's been holding a while. Paul, welcome. What's going on today?
Not much. Hey, I had a question on testing antifreeze. A while ago, we bought a used Ford Focus, and it was still under warranty.
Okay.
So we got it home, and I was looking it over, and I'm not too familiar with some of this new antifreeze. So first thing I noticed was it was just a straight clear color. So I thought, gee, that's weird. So I got my tester out, and I tested it, and it was I think it was the bubbles just all went to the, none of them floated.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I don't know of any antifreeze on the market that's clear.
Okay, well, I took it back in there because it was still under warranty, and the guy, he tested it just like I did, and he said, you're right. So he flushed it, and he put new antifreeze in it, and it was clear just like the other stuff. And then lo and behold, he comes in the office where I'm there sitting in the office, and he goes, look, I just found out this kind of antifreeze, you have to test it with a hydrometer.
Yeah, and we talked about that on last week's show. Yeah, the bubble anymore is not a way to do that. You can't use the bubble tools anymore, the floating balls and all that stuff.
Okay, so there is some antifreeze that has to be tested with the hydrometer.
All new antifreeze needs to be checked with either a strip or some sort of a refractometer to actually check it properly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still thrown off on the clear part of the coolant. I'm looking that up right now because you're teaching me something today because I didn't know of a clear coolant. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was on a 2010 Ford Focus.
Okay.
Yeah, but
no, he is correct in saying that as far as actually checking it. Yes, you need to check that with either the strips or a refractometer or a special tool. You cannot just check it with the old coolant. The old squeeze ball testers. They just don't work.
Okay, so is that the same as a hydrometer that you use on a battery, or because that's what it looked like he was using, but that measures specific gravity. So
yeah, I don't know what he was using. I know that the majority. I don't know how Steve does it, but I use the strips still because it's just like a hot tub. It does measure everything according to what's inside of it. There's guys that have refractometers that work extremely well. Steve, what do you guys use?
Actually, use both, to be honest with you. It depends on the tech. Some have preferences one way or the other, but I think that little hydrometer is only good for the turkey baster now. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, well, thanks for the info.
You're very welcome, Paul. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Again, phone number 303-477-5600. 5600. Give us a call. We'd love to chat with you. Anything that you've got, any question, anything for Steve, myself, Randy Hunt from Toyota, we're here to answer it. And again, 2 free tickets to next week's auto show. Call us. The line open right now. You can do this, 303-477-5600. What year did the U.S. start celebrating Thanksgiving? Give us the exact day the proclamation was made, and you win 2 free tickets. All right, let's go to the next caller, Phil, and Wheatridge. You got a question for Randy?
I do for Randy. Good comment. First of all, thanks for having me on. Kudos to Toyota for making a great product. I own one. It's the most durable, reliable vehicle I've ever bought, and I bought it used. So they make great products. One comment I realize is in the pipe dream department on there. I'd love to see an off-road package that's more of a harder core type off-road package like the Wrangler Rubicon. And I realize it's been like 30 years for Toyota, but Jeep has proven it can be successful with a hardcore type of vehicle that has a complete live front axle. And I'd love to see one like that from Toyota.
Yeah, well, I'm driving a Rubicon today as a test vehicle for the week, and you're right, that vehicle has been hugely successful for Jeep over the years, so you're correct. Now, I will say this. I'll let Randy talk in a moment, but one thing that is true to Jeep hasn't changed since 1941. They still don't have enough power. When I drove one down here today, that's the first thought in my mind. You know what? It still has no power after all these years, but anyways, Randy, go ahead.
That is true. And one other thing, they've shown they can do a live front axle in the modern day and still be successful.
That's true.
And I'd love to see one from Toyota.
You're true.
From a pickup or a FJ40 type no-nonsense vehicle. Need something that's successful with the Xterra. Love to see something like that.
Yeah, I think when you take a look at that live front axle, the FJ Cruiser, which it's gone away now, but that was extremely capable with the independent front suspension. As far as like a hardcore off-road, we've got the TRD Pro Series now, which that's a legitimate package. It's not just stickers on the side of the truck kind of thing. I mean, they're built-in TRD shocks and the
locking diffs, things like that.
Yeah, so. But as far as us going back to I don't think you're going to see a solid front axle. I mean, we just haven't had one in years.
In fact, I would go as far as saying this, Phil, and I don't quote me on this, but I'm always wondering how much longer is that straight axle in Jeep even going to be there?
Right.
Yeah, from a weight problem. Yeah, weight, safety.
Turning radius,
all of that, and I just keep wondering how much longer are we going to see that in even. I mean, I know why they're doing it. Part of it's just true to the heritage of what's there, but at some point, you could put an aluminum housing, independent front suspension in that Rubicon, save weight, help your CAFE ratings, etc. So the question is, how much longer is that even going to exist?
Yeah, I figured it was a bad dream, but I'm sure you have some fans.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. No, I agree with you, and I think that's why Jeep has kept it as long as they have.
Yeah.
Good point. Great. Appreciate it. All right, Phil. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. No, and to his point, by the way, Don and Littleton, you guys hang tight. I've got about a minute left is all. I don't think I've got enough time for any more questions. So Don and Bob, hang with us through the top of the news hour. I'll get you as soon as we come back. You'll be first up. So don't go away. But Randy and Steve both, you have to wonder, how much longer can, a Jeep, because the vehicle I'm driving, I didn't look at the fuel economy yet, but I'll bet you I'm going to be doing good to break 20 in that vehicle. The CAFE ratings alone are going to start to drive some different development, even in the front end, et cetera, on that vehicle. Still a full frame on body vehicle, which is good. You can do a lot more with it as far as off-road capability, et cetera, goes, as far as the Jeep and the Rubicon and the package. And I get what Phil's saying, but you have to ask yourself, how much longer can even they keep doing that with it not affecting the rest of, because they sell a ton of those products, so it does have an effect and a dent on their CAFE ratings.
Absolutely. And when we look at 2017, I think that's on the next level of
the next stage.
Yeah, and that's going to affect more trucks more so than passenger cars.
That's why F-150 just did the aluminum body, and all those things, folks, are the reasons they're doing some of those things. It's not because you as a consumer wanted an aluminum body F-150. It's because Ford knows they've got to get into the groove to get the CAFE ratings where they need to be, and they sell a ton of F-150s that affects their overall CAFE ratings. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Ford sells, over 700,000 F-Series trucks, not all of them
honestly, in a negative way, because they don't get the economy that Ford Focus does. So, all right, we're going to keep going. Don't go away. We're going to come back. We're going to take a quick news break. Blaze News is up next. We got more announcements to come in the second hour. And again, please use our sponsors if you can. If you're looking for a new car, Isaac Bouchard, 303-475-1462. He'll help you out, new, used, whatever. Paul Leuenberger, he was on last week with us, Chrome Insurance. Once you buy that car, you need insurance, call him 303-619-9891, and he'll help you out with anything you need on anything you've got going on, home, auto, etc. And then, of course, Quick Trade, they've got a $50 off deal. Mentioned Drive Radio, Mobile Tire Shop, Ken and Mike, 720-588-9055. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. John Rush, Randy Hunt, and Steve Borbath. Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers, the independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select, hold each other accountable for their highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business, so Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Join us every Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. for Sportsman of Colorado. Hunting, fishing, camping, guns, and ammo. We'll get you ready for the big game late rifle season, upland bird hunting, and tips on making your next waterfowl hunt a success. Check out our website, sportsmanofcolorado.com. If you love the outdoors, you'll love Sportsman of Colorado. Sportsman of Colorado, Saturdays, 1 to 2 p.m. right here on KLZ 560.
KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver.
Listen live at KLZ560radio.com.
KLZ 560, a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Mike Craig. The ink is barely dry on President Obama's executive action, but one state is ready to take legal action against the president over his immigration reform. The Blaze Radio's Tom Peace reports.
This issue of pass a bill or else is just not simply how our process works.
Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt commenting on President Obama's claim that he must act on immigration reform because Congress hasn't. Pruitt explains why his state is preparing to take legal action against the president.
So we have a concern at the state level that this impacts the states in a very important way. This triggers state benefits. Now these individuals are considered lawful in our states. That will trigger state welfare and state Medicaid benefits. And so it has a direct harm to the states, and it's something that we need to respond to.
Pruitt with Greta on Fox News.
2 men suspected of planning to detonate bombs during protests in Ferguson, Missouri are under arrest. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network.
Everyone is making the switch to the Blaze to make it their source for the truth. Why not make it your source for the truth? Make theblaze.com your homepage for news that the other outlets won't even touch. Subscribe to The Blaze TV at theblaze.com/TV or on Dish Network and get access to original programming like For the Record, the show that exposes what's really going on that the government doesn't want you to know. And Real News, the daily conversation on the topics of the day that matter most. Check out the Blaze Radio Network at theblaze.com/radio with original shows like Buck Sexton, The Morning Blaze with Doc Thompson, Pat and Stu, and Jay Severin. Or if you need something to hold in your hands, subscribe to the Blaze magazine. So basically, anywhere you need to go, you can take the truth with you by taking the Blaze with you. This is the Blaze. Truth lives here. So just to recap, anywhere you need to go, you can take the truth with you by taking the Blaze with you. Find out all the ways at theblaze.com.
You've been listening to the Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560. The Dennis Miller Show, Monday night at 10 on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real old thing, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She does a quarter mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower. 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance limit is all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
All right, and we are back. Hour number 2, Drive Radio. And it is Saturday today, but if it's Sunday, I say this often, but if it's Sunday, you can't call in. Please listen. Keep listening. Just remember you can't call in because we will not be here to answer the phones. But you're more than welcome to listen, and I'll put the first hour up on our podcast. I get those up typically even by Saturday evening so that by Sunday you guys can have the ability to go back and listen to the first hour if you want to. But we'd love to have you listening. So you guys that are listening on Sunday, thank you. We appreciate it very much. And also all of our Saturday listeners. So location of the car show we announced. And by the way, all the tickets we have received to give away are gone. So you guys all did that. And the answer was, what year did the United States start I can't talk. What year did the U.S. start celebrating Thanksgiving? The proclamation was made November 26, 1789 by George Washington as a day of public Thanksgiving. The first time Thanksgiving was celebrated under the new Constitution. So, Larry, thanks for that question. He was instrumental in that. And by the way, the event itself, so the car show will be, this is for anybody else that wants to go, by the way. You don't have to have free tickets. You can just go. In fact, they'd love to have you. It is November 28th, 29th, and 30th. The 28th and 29th, so Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Let me get that straight. So 10 a.m., 9 p.m., and then on Sunday, it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there are some discount tickets available at the O'Reilly Auto Parts stores locally, but that's the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rocky Mountain Auto Show, and that'll be a lot of fun. Go out there and enjoy it. It's one of the biggest, in fact, it is the biggest indoor car show that we have here in the state, with the exception of the new car auto show. And this is not new cars. This is really a lot of just good, flavorful, great cars. It'll be a lot of fun. Actually, I'm going to do my best to get down there and go. It'll be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll have a roving reporter next week. And next Saturday, I'll have some more tickets to give away. So we'll have 6 more tickets to give away next Saturday. So if you decide you want to go later in the day on Saturday and try to win some tickets, we'll have another special question for you next Saturday, and that'll give you the ability to actually go out and enjoy the event. And it'll be going on as we're on air next week, but that'll be a lot of fun. So that is at the Colorado Convention Center. Everybody knows where that's at. If you don't, just drive down Spear Boulevard in downtown Denver, and you'll run right into it. You can't miss it. So look for the Blue Bear. Look for the big Blue Bear. That's exactly right. So I don't know the exact address, but it's right off of Spear Boulevard, right downtown, Colorado Convention Center. You won't want to miss it. It'll be a blast. So without further ado, we had a couple of calls holding on over the news. Don in Littleton, welcome. What's going on, Don?
Hey, hi, John. Hi, Steve.
Hey, good morning.
You guys.
Morning.
Thanks for calling us, Don.
Oh, you're welcome. I had a couple of questions for Randy.
Go ahead.
I wondered if you could hammer hard on your dealers to include, when they send flyers for service coupons and so forth, to put in a coupon for parts.
Something we've been working at, whether it's parts or accessories, and one of the things that we've been working on is kind of a variable discount. So the more you spend, the more you save.
Well, that's terrific, because our dealer here in Littleton is Groove Toyota, and they don't do that when they send their flyers. They're always nice service things, but nothing for parts or accessories.
Okay, I will forward that on.
Oh, that's terrific. And one other point, on the Tacoma pickup, it has the plastic bed.
Yes,
which is really a great idea. I mean, it's light. It will never rust. It's strong. But the only problem with that plastic bed is if you use that truck for hauling, which is, I guess, is what it's made for, and you beat that bed up, you can't refinish it.
Correct.
So what I would really like to be able to do is to put a drop-in liner in that bed, and then I could use it hard for hauling. And when that liner's beat up, I could throw the liner out and put another one in.
Can you rhino line those or do anything with it, or does the plastic stick to it, Randy?
I'm not certain about the rhino lining.
Strain liner, will a strain liner work on that?
I'm not certain.
I talked to rhino lining, and they're not so certain either. And they weren't they were uncertain enough that I didn't want to do it. But even a rhino lining will get beat up, and then you're kind of in a pickle.
Yeah, the only thing you can do on the rhino lining, Don, is they can be redone.
Okay.
They can grind off the upper, the outer layer of that. Because if you get in a fender bender or get into an accident with a rhino lining vehicle, they can fix that. So they can patch it. So that's the one plus you've got with it. And I don't know about the drop-in.
Yeah, I know for the Tacoma, we do have kind of a rubber mat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I've always used.
And I've got the rubber mat in it, and that works okay. But the sides still get chewed up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fussy about my trucks. They're pretty sharp. And,
you and I both. I'm the same way.
I still use them as a truck, and I've looked everywhere, and nobody makes a drop-in liner for a Tacoma.
Right.
But Toyota could. Toyota could put that in as an accessory.
Yeah, they could.
Just with that disclaimer that it's for cosmetically protecting that line, that bed, and it would work perfect.
Yeah, good point, Don.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to a guy that can pass that info on. We'll see where it goes.
And one more thing, Randy. I know you've been talking to Mr. Toyota a lot. I know he asked what you should do, and I'm still pushing hard for a small truck.
I think there's a market for that, and we're exploring those. I think Chevy also just came out with a concept that's a little smaller than their Colorado and Canyon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would venture to guess, guys. This is me talking again. Predictions down the road, fuel economy, etc. You've seen the little transit van from Ford do extremely well. I will be surprised if you don't see some things along those lines.
Nissan has a small van like that as well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so does Chevrolet.
And Dodge
just came out with one too.
Yes, the ProMaster.
Yes,
is that it?
It's still a full size, but it's a unibody V6 engine, front wheel drive, so it's up the fuel economy, etc. So I think to get around some of the CAFE laws, etc. Regulations, I should say. I think, Don, to your point, you'll see some things along those lines. And there's a need. There's a lot of guys running around doing, in fleets, etc., where they don't need, a full-size truck, and really even the Tacoma was probably a little bigger than what they're really looking for.
Yeah.
Can they go one step down from that and still get by with it? Yeah, they probably could.
Yeah, because the Tacoma now is as big as the Tundra was when it came out.
That's true. Good point.
But a nice small one, well, that'd be the cat.
No, you're right, Don. Good point.
Yeah. Well,
the parts delivery people would love it. Something like that size.
If Toyota wants to talk to me, Randy, you got my phone number.
All right.
Sounds good, Don.
Don, thank you so much,
Thanks
man.
an awful lot.
Sure appreciate it. You're a faithful listener and a great supporter of Drive Radio, and I appreciate Don so much. He's a great mouthpiece for us and gets a lot of other people listening to our show and coming to our events, and I appreciate Don very much. And actually, a lot of you do the same thing. I do appreciate it. All right. One line open, 303-477-5600. Bob, you're up next. Bob, welcome. What's going on?
Hey, I had a 99 Merc. After they looked around, they said, well, we need to replace your modem. So when I went to go pay for it, I said I'd like the modem, and they wouldn't give it to me. And I just wonder if there's a law in the state or in the country that requires them to give you the parts they've taken out.
In the state of Colorado, the way that works is you have to request your parts back, and if you do, yes, by law, they're supposed to give you the parts back.
Yeah.
If you don't request them, then, of course, there's nothing, if you go back 3 days later and want your part and you didn't request it at the time of the repair, you're not going to get it. But them saying, and then really back up to, we're all kind of looking at each other. When you say motor, you mean the engine itself or an electrical motor or what?
Electrical modem. They said they took it off the door.
So it had to be an electric motor for the window or something?
No, it was, what I understand, it was kind of a junction or manifold that was in the door that the electrical units went into. They called it a modem.
I have no clue what they're talking about on 99.
How about a module?
could be a module.
Well, maybe that was the word. Yeah.
And in that case, yeah, they should have been able to give you the old one back. In fact, ours can. The way I always looked at it when I owned repair shops, if anybody wanted something back, great. It saved me from throwing it in the dumpster and paying to have it hauled off. So I never cared.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to request it before.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can't request.
But still, a reputable place is going to have it sitting around.
I always did.
Now, there could be a core charge.
Yes. Now, in some parts, make sure we back up. Steve's correct. If it's a part that's a remanufactured unit, a lot of times at manufacturers, even if you went and bought a Toyota starter, for example, they may require a core charge and or the old starter back so they can remanufacture it again. And in that case, to get your old part back, you'd have to pay the shop for the core charge.
My gosh.
But that all has to be stated up front. The shop can tell you what that cost is, et cetera. And if, I always said, if somebody wants it back, fine, you can have it. I don't care.
Well, it was the original. I had never had that taken off the car. I never had a problem before with it, but
got it.
They said they got rid of it already, and they just worked on it.
Was it how long after the fact did you ask for it?
I would say no more than an hour.
You need to find another shop.
Yeah. That was the only time I went in.
Yeah, you use one of our Car Select facilities, and you will not have that issue.
Yeah, and I thank you very much for your information.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for calling. Again, line open 303-477-5600. We come back. Tom in Denver has a distributor problem. Howard's getting queued up right now up in Cheyenne, and I will give you a couple of tips for some of you ladies out there listening, especially. Not that men don't need to stay safe either, but no offense, ladies, you get targeted more than a lot of men do. So we're going to talk how to keep you safe this shopping season. So that's right around the corner. Stay with us. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each Colorado Select member currently offers Napa's Peace of Mind warranty, but are now also offering an extended 2-year or 24,000-mile warranty on repair work. You won't find this offer anywhere else. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-6272.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to the patented damping mechanism on our driveline belt tensioners to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff. Napa.
This is Jennifer, and my dad owns Gino's Auto Service in Littleton. What does our expansion mean for you? Savings on all repair and maintenance services. We work on all makes and models, and your satisfaction is always guaranteed. At Gino's, we use genuine Napa parts and are AAA approved. Stop by and see the transformation at Bowles and Flat Canyon, or visit us online at ginosautoservice.com. That's ginosautoservice.com.
Your car performs better when things are simple. And it's easy to see how the maze of plumbing under the hood can slow it down. A K&N AirTake system replaces the maze with a single custom engineered tube. The result? A guaranteed increase in horsepower, a dramatic increase you can actually feel. Visit K&N website to look up the extra horsepower available for your vehicle. K&N, an American manufacturer since 1969.
All right, we are back and just talking through the break. Randy Hunt, by the way, from Toyota. Steve Horvath from Gino's, myself, John Rush, Drive Radio. Listen, we're here please listen to us every week, so I'm trying to say Saturdays, 10 to 1. So if you're listening on Sunday, we are here on Saturday, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. all the way through every single Saturday. We've been doing this for 18 plus years, and we're going to keep doing it. I don't know if I'll do another 18 years, but I guess we'll see. I'm only 50. I could do another 18 years, I suppose, if I'm alive when I'm 68, which today's world, that's a good chance of it.
Yeah. Cars might change a little bit.
There'll be a little different cars by then, I'm guessing. Yeah, but you know, with the average age being 10 years old on the road, and that's liable to that's liable with the quality of cars that are being built today. That's liable to go to 10, 12 years of age. So
I think it'll be an older fleet.
You know, I think it could be very well be. So a lot of what we're driving today, new, we'll be talking about on air in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, think of it that way, guys. You just kind of have to remind yourself that, yeah, there'll be new technology then, but a lot of what we're talking about with Tacoma and Tundra and Camry and all these things today with Randy, that'll be the hot buttons 10 years from now on Drive Radio also. So that's the way the world of automotive works. But all right, let's go to Tom is next. Tom, you've been holding the longest. What's going on?
Thanks for my call. Got a 1992 Chevy K1500 with a 5.7 V8, 91,000 miles.
Okay.
And the other day, there was kind of a buzzing sound from the engine, and I got traced it to the distributor. But as I was driving it, all of a sudden it died. Is it something in the distributor that just broke, or?
Likely, yes.
Okay. So just replace the distributor.
If you heard some noise coming out of that, I wouldn't even try to fix that distributor. Remanufactured distributors are so cheap. I would just drop a whole new distributor in it and go that route. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, get all the electronics with it that's in there.
The shaft will be new, the bushings will be new, the gear will be new on the bottom. Just do the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Okay. What brand do you recommend?
Oh, Napa.
Yeah, Napa builds a great reman unit for that.
Napa got them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I buy my parts from there.
And that's not a hard unit to do. As you know, that's pretty easy and pretty cut and dried, and that's zero timing. You don't put any timing in it at all. It goes to the zero mark on top dead center, and off you go.
That's great. So you got time for an observation?
Yes, go ahead.
Had a 2002 Astro van which got totaled in an accident, and the one thing that can really replace is another Astro van. So I bought a 2003. I noticed a lot of chipping down of just between those 2 years. The 2003 has a lot of body flexing. You can hear the squeaking in of the rubber items, and the sliding doors a lot lighter and tinier. Is that kind of common with the continued line of product where they kind of keeping it down?
No, not typically. In fact, I would say that's not the case. And what I would have to be concerned about on a situation like that is, did you get one that had been damaged, wrecked, had inferior parts put on it after the fact? Because no, once they start building, Randy can say this even better than I can. Once that vehicle is in line, in production, and it's rolling, they do everything possible not to make changes because it's expensive when they do.
Okay.
Or if anything, we make changes to make it positive. Yeah. And a lot of that today is being driven by crash test results and those kind of things where we have to. We didn't do as well in this particular aspect of the test, so we take it back to the drawing board and say, how do we make it better?
Correct. Yeah.
So there's running production changes constantly.
But they don't typically do it to make it cheaper or more tinny or anything along those lines. If anything, it will be the opposite of that, saying, wait a minute, we can reduce noise by doing X, let's do so.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And then the next question is, I like the size and the capacity of the Astro van. What's on the market that can replace that? I couldn't find anything new besides a Suburban, but that's 3 feet longer.
So you mean as far as, let me ask you this, what are you doing with the van? Let's start there.
Occasionally I need to dolly people around. I carry tools and those types of things. I don't really tow or anything, but
okay.
So the capacity has been ideal with the Astro van for me.
Astro vans are pretty unique. I had one. It's a pretty unique and pretty flexible vehicle. It's one of the best four-wheel drives we've ever had.
Yeah, and I take the season for all the drives and hit up the mountain in good fashion.
I mean, because the new, and I'm not saying this because Randy's here, but the new Sienna, you can do an all-wheel drive version of Sienna, and it can be configured interior-wise to be very comparable to what you've got as far as seating capacities and all those things go.
Because the Astro was not quite a full-size van, but not quite a minivan. It was in between the two.
And take a time out real quick for a second. Hey, Matt, if you're listening on the other side of the glass, Matt, we're getting really bad echo in here. I don't know why. I don't know if our listeners can hear that, but I can't. I don't know what's causing that. Anything you can do to adjust that would be awesome, because the echo's driving me crazy. Anyways, go ahead, Steve. Keep going.
No, it was a great niche vehicle. It's in between a lot of different things, and still plenty big.
And then, as you know, they don't make that any longer. Randy, any ideas?
from an all-wheel drive standpoint, Toyota's the only one that makes an all-wheel drive van. And I don't know if some of these other smaller vans like the Transit Connect, that's probably going to be too small, and some of the other ones that are on the market.
Yeah, that's pretty small. And like the ProMaster, which Chrysler has now, or Ram, I should call it correctly. So I got in trouble the other day on YouTube for calling a Ram a Dodge or a Chrysler, and it is, and it's all in the same family. It's like a Toyota and a Lexus. It's all the Toyota family. But that van, that ProMaster, Tom, you might want to look at it a little bit closer. They've got several configurations of that van. It is front-wheel drive, which would be okay skiing, etc. It's very configurable interior-wise. I drove that van actually on a commercial side of the fence, and very nice van. I was very impressed with the capabilities of it. It worked fantastic and got a great fuel economy.
Okay, great.
So be worth looking at. You just go online, look at the ProMaster, and see what's there, see how you can configure it, etc. But that might be a good replacement.
Okay. So you said you looked at the Suburban to replace it. Did you think about the smaller Tahoe, the less?
Yeah, it doesn't have the cargo capacity.
No, yeah, you lose that back area. You're right. That hurts. Right.
Yeah. So I really appreciate your information.
No, thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it. And just a side note, guys on the engineering side, I'm getting texts that we're really echoey and tinny out on air. So I don't know how we fix that, etc. I mean, we'll just deal with it, but it's really tinny sounding, and it is in my eardrums or inside my earphones too. I don't know why that is.
Is it still happening? Because it could be the caller. It could have.
It's. I can hear it when I'm talking even to these guys right now. I'm getting an echo back in my headset. But anyways, we'll continue on. Line open 303-477-5600. Let's go to Howard, who is next. Howard, welcome. What's going on?
Good morning. Question for you after Randy's question. Your question will be location of the, I believe it's the Gates Flush equipment up in the Cheyenne area, at least as close to Cheyenne as I could get.
Okay.
I have a number of vehicles I'd like to run on that.
Okay.
Randy question also.
Go ahead. Why don't you do Randy first, and I'll see what I can find on the other. Go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. And I'm getting out near the Nebraska line on this cell phone, so I might or might not lose you.
That's okay. Well, that's all right. Go ahead.
We can still hear you on 560 though.
Okay.
Randy, diesels for, well, I'm driving a gas Sequoia right now. I have oil triple and everything, run pure gasoline in it rather than that ethanol garbage. And I'm still only doing about 16.5, depending on wind miles per gallon. I have a number of diesels, have Mercedes diesel, have Volkswagen diesel, have Cummins diesel in my 1-ton pickup.
Right.
I'm kind of dieselized. Would like to see Toyota. They have good diesels. I've been in them. I've driven them over in Africa. They're good machines.
Yes.
I realize there are EPA problems we have to deal with here, but we were talking about CAFE standards earlier, and that would probably enhance the CAFE standards here. If we could do something in, the Sequoia, Land Cruiser, Tacoma, 4Runner, and even some of the vehicles, the passenger vehicles, that would open a huge market for you. Any plans to do that?
That's a great point. And worldwide, we do have, diesels, particularly in Europe. We sell Yaris with I think it's a 3-cylinder turbo diesel there, or very small 4-cylinder. Globally, yes, that is part of our model lineup. So we have the technology. You brought up a couple of the key factors, one being the EPA and the emission requirements. I know for a fact that when you take a look at, for instance, on Tundra, the after system that is in there is about a 3,000. The engine itself. And then you take a look, I just drove by a truck stop yesterday, and diesel was $3.85 and gasoline was $2.85. Right. So there's a big differential in that price. So we have to take a look at all those different factors on at what point is it cost effective for the customer.
Right. And one other thing that Randy mentioned too, Howard, which I'll just throw in, which I hadn't really thought about, is you also have to look at, for each model that comes out, different crash testing, or the crash testing also has to be done. So this new offset test that's coming from the insurance society or whatever you want to call it. What is it? So in a Tacoma, for example, or even a Tundra, you now have a whole nother set of safety standards you have to meet in that offset crash test, etc. Every one of those things drives the cost of putting another model out.
Well, I understand that. I've done over 1 million miles in Mercedes diesels for work. Not all the same vehicles,
right?
A variety of them. I did drive a new 4-cylinder E-Class for the good part of a day, about 300 some odd miles, different situations. 4-cylinder thing ran extremely well. Most people wouldn't even know it was a 4-cylinder, and exceptional fuel mileage that I would guess would probably rival that of that piece of trash Prius. Excuse me, Randy, but I don't like that people drive those things. They're anti-American SOBs. That's just my opinion. But,
you're entitled to it.
Yes, you are. We live in a free country, and you're entitled to it. You're right.
I'll tell you this, Howard. When you take a look at some of the other manufacturers, Dodge has the diesel in the 1500.
Right,
diesel. I'm sorry, Ram.
It's a Ram. Yeah, sorry.
And Nissan will have the 5-liter Cummins turbo diesel in the Titan. Chevrolet and GMC will have
V6 very soon. Yes, and they're coming out in Colorado with a diesel.
Yeah, they're going to have the turbo diesel in those small trucks. So those things are making us take a look. Hey,
yes. So the competition is what Randy's saying, Howard, will probably make them. I'm one personally that I think as time goes by to keep up with the cafe, etc. Howard, I think you'll see some of this. They'll come from the big players, Ford, Toyota, Chevy, Chrysler, etc. Will it reach its way down into the small compact cars, etc.? I don't know. A lot of that's going to depend upon what EPA does, what the regs are there. Right now we're having to add a fluid into a diesel engine, even on the V6 diesels that Randy was just mentioning from Ram. That has to have the the urea injection with it to get it to pass the EPA sides of the fence. All those things are a factor. And one thing I will tell you right now, it's great, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not complaining. When we're under $3 a gallon for gas, it doesn't push that diesel market super hard because, to Randy's point, right now there's about $1 difference. In my fleet, I can drive a poor gas mileage gas engine car or truck, I should say, as cheaply as I can one of my diesels.
I feel it every day when I refuel my diesel vehicle that I use for work.
Yep, that's the downside to cheap gas. But we know that's probably not going to stay that way unless, and we're getting into my daily show now, but unless we do Keystone Pipeline, we continue to tap the reserves we have, we continue to produce more oil as North American continent, we do all those things, and we're liable to have cheap gas prices for a while.
A lot of it depends on politics, but yes, you're right.
It's exactly right. No, everything I just said is all politics.
Right.
Yep. No, you're right. I mean, we all know, and again, I'm not trying to get off on a tangent, but we all know the reserves are here, the capacity, the ability for us to be oil independent, all on our own. It's all within our reach. It's a matter of, do we elect the right officials to make that happen?
Right. We can outperform anyone else in the world. We can defeat Russia, with our oil production.
That's right.
And we're too bloody stupid to do it. It's disgusting.
No, you're right about that. That is all politics. Again, that's part of the Daily Show. Howard, man, appreciate it. Be safe on your trip where you're heading, and appreciate you listening, man. Thanks so much.
The flush before you just.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, flushes. I have been in contact with our store in Fort Collins to see if, I know at one time they had that tool. They evidently don't right now, so I'm in communication with the owner to figure out when are they going to get that tool back. That would be your closest. Your next bet, your next closest one is going to be Longmont at Demers.
Demers?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. I just thank you. I appreciate it.
You betcha.
If it becomes available in Collins, if you could announce that on the radio.
I will do that, Howard. I will most definitely do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Appreciate it very much. All right, with that, let's take a quick break. Line open, 303-477-5600. We will be back right after this. Don't go away. John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Arvada West Auto, we know that fluids are the life of your vehicle. They are also complicated, with all the different types, from motor oil to gear oils to coolant. The types of fluid, service procedures, and intervals can vary widely. Let us help you sort out what your vehicle needs and when it needs to be serviced. Stop in or call us at Arvada West Auto, 11752 West 64th Avenue, 303-422-1065. You can visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com.
Having transmission problems? Stop by Larry's Automotive today. We're your only Colorado Select Auto Care in North Denver that also specializes in automatic and manual transmissions. We're a family-owned small business taking care of your family-owned fleet of cars, trucks, and SUVs since 1994. We specialize in transmission and drivetrain problems and offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. We're also an ATRA member. Call us at 303-427-2108 for an appointment or find us on the web at coloradoselect.com. Larry's Automotive, a proud member of Colorado Select Auto Care.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the parts you need. Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right part store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
A 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every auto repair says so much more than if it's not right, we'll try to fix it again. A 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty tells me that this is a master mechanic who's confident, who knows what they're doing. I mean, nobody offers a warranty like that, right? Colorado Select Auto Care Centers do, and only the members of Colorado Select offer a warranty this good. Find a mechanic who's a member of Colorado Select Auto Care at coloradoselect.org.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560. I almost said Rush to Reason, which is my daily show, which, by the way, the Keystone Pipeline and some of that, maybe I'll talk about that Monday. That'd be actually a great topic, because Randy just brought up another great point. Part of why I think the Keystone Pipeline hasn't gone through is because the second richest man in the country makes a lot of money moving product on the rail, oil, etc. But to Randy's point, if we could offload some of that oil into a pipeline, free up some of Warren Buffett's trains to move some product for Toyota, we'd probably increase production in some other areas, and it probably would be a good thing. That's the stuff, by the way, nobody ever talks about.
Right.
We talk about the pipeline and the quote-unquote environmental ramifications of it, but we don't talk about all of the other things that even on the rail lines we could free up to even get product moved quicker, cheaper, easier than the way we're doing it now. So,
although Warren Buffett just bought some car dealerships, so maybe he'll feel.
Maybe he's doing that.
Maybe he'll feel the pinch there. And
good point, Randy.
He's pretty smart.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Then what would they do to our trucking industry?
So then they,
they might pick up some of those, produce some of those.
Yeah, maybe. Although you still the end from depot, train depot to end product, or to end dealership, etc., still goes by truck. So I don't think the trucking industry is going anywhere. All right, I've got a blank screen. I don't know who's up next, and I apologize. I don't have you on my screen. Who am I talking to? I don't know the name. Sorry, who is this?
My name is Tim.
Tim, great. I apologize. Your name was blank on my screen. What can we do for you, Tim?
I'm blank too.
Go right ahead.
I want to know from your Toyota guy.
Okay.
I have an 88 Toyota Supra Turbo.
Okay.
And I want to know the 24,000 miles.
Holy cow.
It's in good shape.
Not bad. Okay.
And is there a market for that?
I think there would be. Obviously, the Supra's been gone for almost 15 years now, and
I would think so too.
I'll be at the auto show in Las Vegas next week, and I guarantee you I'll get questions on when are you guys bringing the Supra back?
Yeah.
So if it's in good shape and that's really low mileage, I think there's definitely a market for it.
Excuse me, it's got everything you can get on it.
Yeah.
It's got that mechanism that you can tell how every part of your vehicle is running.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, Tim, I think that's got a market also. I would agree with Randy. That'd be one where you'd want to get with somebody that could help you, maximize the value on that. Get the
That's what
vehicle.
we're looking for.
Call our broker, Isaac, 303.
Wait.
Because he can help, because he does new, used, everything, and this would be right up his alley. He knows these vehicles very well.
Go ahead.
303 475
475?
Yep, 475 1462.
1462. What's the name of the place?
His name is Isaac Bouchard, and he works at Preferred Auto Brokers.
ISSAC?
Yep.
I can spell too.
You got it.
Name of the company?
Preferred Auto Brokers.
Preferred.
Yep, one of our sponsors of the show.
Okay, you
All right.
think it's a Toyota guy?
Yeah.
You think there's a market for this automobile?
I would
To
say
tell you
yes.
the truth, I don't lie. I had it at a dealership from May until last week.
Okay.
He said he'd sell it for me.
Oh, okay.
And it's possibly one of those things that there might not be a market for that particular car here in Denver.
But Isaac would know nationally even what you could do with it.
It's an automatic, and when I said to him, "How come it's a beautiful automobile?" He says they don't want automatic, they want manual.
Got it. Yeah, no, again, Isaac's the guy that could actually help you with that and take care of that for you, Jim. So give him a call again. Isaac's name, Isaac Bouchard, Preferred Auto Brokers, 303-475-1462. By the way, we say this a lot, but he can do anything. New, used. You look at what you need. You don't know what you need. You're just looking for some advice. Isaac understands it very well. He's been on our show a lot. He knows the makes, the models, the vehicles, how they meet your needs, etc. So he's a great guy. Give him a call, and he'll take care of you. All right, one line open, 303-475. I can't talk. 303. I can't talk. 477-5600. And I said earlier, we've got a hotline where you can call in, leave comments and questions and just different things that are going on here at the station. The other thing that we'd like to do during this Thanksgiving season is call that line and leave something that you're thankful for, and it's liable to get played on air throughout the week here on KLZ. That number is 720-541-TALK. It's the KLZ Freedom phone line, 720-541-TALK. All right, let's go to Dill, who is up next. Dill, welcome. What's going on?
Bill, everybody thinks it's Bill.
What is it?
Bill.
Bill, what's going on?
Hey, if this is a free country, I think our president should be impeached.
Well, it is a free country, and we'll see what happens in...
I'll tell you, I don't know what to say. Maybe that's how I call about. Hey, I got a 20-year-old truck.
Okay.
Didn't you guys say that the Sears batteries weren't what they used to be?
I have no clue.
They've never been anything for me.
Yeah, I've never cared for them at all. But even as a kid in the 80s, Bill, I was not a Sears diehard fan.
I
Even back
probably
then.
had good luck, and then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had to replace it just recently.
Okay.
And this is a car that sits a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, so I left the light on, the overhead light, so the battery was dead.
Got it.
So I charged it back up, let it sit there for about a week or so. Went out there the other day to start it back up, and it's dead again. So now I got to charge it, and I'm going to bring it down to Sears and let them check it out.
Did you put a trickle charger or a battery tender on that in between? I would. If you've got the ability to plug a battery tender in and leave it on that battery when you're not driving it, you'll get longer life out of the battery.
The problem is my driveway's got lots of use by lots of different vehicles.
Got it.
By our cars.
Got it.
In and out. Having an extension cord, we don't put a pain in the neck.
Yeah, got it.
But I've never had the trouble. I've owned the truck since new for 20 years. It used to sit when I first bought it.
Have you checked to see if it has a draw or anything that's been created lately that maybe is attributing to that?
Anything what?
Is there a draw on the system maybe that's attributing to that?
I had the motor went out on the window.
Okay.
And I had that replaced.
Okay.
But so I don't know. So I got the charger on it now.
Okay.
Go out there and see what it does, and I figured I'd bring it down to Susan and let them.
Yep, that's a good idea. Great, appreciate it.
So you guys aren't real crazy about his batteries anymore than that.
I never have been. No.
Okay, well.
That's me personally. They may have a charger that's solar powered out there though, which I think I mentioned that last week. Yeah, somebody else called in and I said the same thing. Yeah, some of the solar powered chargers aren't that bad anymore. They actually work fairly well. So, all right, I've got a couple of safety tips we want to give out. So you guys are hanging on the line. Hang with me for just a second. I'm going to give out a couple of tips for some of the ladies that are out there listening, and some of you men might also take heed to this. So here's a few tips. And if I don't get all these in, they are all on our Facebook page. You can go to Drive Radio's Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/Drive Radio. So first things first, don't post on Facebook or tweet that you're out heading or that you're heading out to go shopping. Okay? Don't do that, especially some of our younger listeners. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. You're just opening yourself up to either be, broken into at home, or they may be following you around. Let's hope not, but there's a lot of goofy people out there. If possible, shop in a group or with a friend. Okay? Single people are more of a target than a group is. Don't carry large amounts of cash. Use your debit or credit cards. Drive around the area that you're going to park in and survey that area prior to parking. What do I mean by that? Look around and see what's going on. Are you in a well-lit area? Are you closer to the front door? Is there a line of sight to the front door? You know what, folks? Some of you may get mad at me for saying this, but profile the people that are in the parking lot. Are they people that belong in that area, or they don't belong in that area? What are they driving? What's going on? What are they doing? Are they following other people around? Those are things that are really important to making sure that you stay safe when you're out trying to shop. And, biggest thing is, do the people that are there belong there? If they don't, that's a red flag. You probably should call, the police, local security, something along those lines to make sure that everybody else is also staying safe. Don't park next to vans or large SUVs with dark tinted windows. Why? Because you don't know what's inside of it. Go find another parking place. Don't shop with small children. They can easily distract you, thereby allowing a pickpocket or somebody else to come along and steal from you while you're even inside shopping. Don't text and shop at the same time. In other words, don't daydream while you're shopping. Keep your head up, stay alert, watch what's going on. Even while you're in the store, act the same way you would if you were trying to park. And I just said a moment ago, what's going on inside the store? Be alert to what's around you because you want to be safe at all times. I've got some other things that we'll continue to go through. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back and take Larry and Barry. Hey, that kind of rhymes. Both of you guys hang with us. We'll be right back. Don't go away. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560.
At Napa, we're always trying to make the great parts we sell even better. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And every Napa part is covered by a warranty good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. Go to NapaOnline.com for a location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Need a one-stop auto repair solution in Boulder? At John's 4x4 Center, they service and maintain more than just 4x4s. From big trucks to diesel pickups, their team of service specialists and technicians have the computer diagnostics, tools, and expertise to service and repair any make or model. They combine their skills with integrity, giving you the best service in the industry. From preventative maintenance to major repairs, you can trust your vehicle to John's 4x4, located on Arapahoe Road, just east of 63rd, behind Carpet One. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 until 5:30, with convenient shuttle service and after-hours drop. If you're ready to form a solid relationship with an auto repair shop, the new owners at John's 4x4 Center are committed to providing the personal and professional service you are looking for. Give them a call at 303-449-2640. Check them out on the web or follow them on Facebook at johns4x4.com.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
Do you love things that require gas or diesel fuel to run? Do you need a job? Or are you just looking for a change? Napa Auto Parts is looking for delivery drivers and salespeople in all locations in the Denver metro area. If you have experience in the industry, that helps, but it is not mandatory. Please go to NapaAutoJobs.com. Again, that's NapaAutoJobs.com and fill out the application. Please mention Drive Radio on that application. Napa Auto Parts, an equal opportunity employer. All right, we are back. John Rush, Drive Radio, Steve Horvath, and Randy Hunt from Toyota. Thank you guys so much for being with us. I do appreciate it very much. And again, please help out all of our sponsors that help us with Drive Radio. We would not be here. We would not exist without sponsors of our show. That includes Quick Tread, the Mobile Tire Shop, Ken and Mike, 720-588-9055. They do a great job and have a great, right now they're booked all the way through Thanksgiving. So if you need something from them, call them and they'll get you taken care of. Paul Willenberger from American National Insurance, 303-619-9891. Does all of our insurance here on Drive Radio. Larry is up next. Larry, welcome. What's going on?
Hi, I have a Dodge Diesel and has the exhaust filter full.
Okay.
I need to know what
year is it? An 08 or 09 or what is it?
09.
09? Man, I had a good guess there, didn't I? It wasn't even on my screen and I guessed that. Why? Because it's the problem on those.
Is it?
Yes, it is. What do you do with the truck? In other words, how do you drive it?
Well, I drive it to work, probably 6 miles to the interstate, and then another 15, 20 miles down to the interstate. And that's just, I've only got 50,000 miles on it right now.
Right.
But then when I pull my horse trailer and stuff, I'm still pulling 6,000, 10,000 pounds.
Okay.
And that's not a whole lot.
No, but you're at least driving it enough where you're getting the full warm cycle. You are at highway speeds. That vehicle should be regenning and cleaning itself out as far as the diesel particulate filter is concerned. Now, what I will tell you is there are some companies now in the aftermarket that can clean those filters. One of them is Arvada West, right in our group. Dorsey and Paula over there, they can actually clean that filter. I would do that before I'd worry about replacing it or doing anything along those lines. Take it over there, have them clean that filter, reset the regen codes that are inside the computer, and you should be good.
Well, if I have to replace that filter,
you don't want to. They're super expensive. That whole system's about $5,000.
Oh, Jesus Christmas.
You do not want to replace it if you don't have to. Even cleaning it will cost you. I don't know their rates, but typically to clean a diesel particulate filter is anywhere between $250 and $500, depending upon how long it has to be there, how dirty it is, etc.
Okay.
So it's still cheaper to clean it than it is to try to replace it.
Right. And how often do you think that is?
Only when they get full.
Yeah. And you don't have any clue.
Well, and all of that depends on driver. The thing with those trucks that you're driving is they need to get driven harder, believe it or not. The harder you drive it, the less issue you have of it plugging up. So, you're better off to actually stick your foot in it, really get that thing running and rolling along, even keep it in a lower gear occasionally, and do that with it as opposed to just putzing around, and it actually makes it build up soot faster.
Right. So, for instance, when I'm not pulling anything, get on the interstate and just get it up to 75 just as quick as I can, because that's probably
that helps. No, that actually helps. It if you full operating temperature, sticking your foot on it on the on ramp, getting it up to 75, let it then cruise out, let it do its regen. I own one of those, especially pushing snow. That system pushing snow, you can't, because all the back and forth that you do when you're trying to plow snow just plugs the filters up something fierce. And I finally had to get rid of those 4 trucks. I couldn't keep them just because of that factor.
Okay, now if I was to get on the interstate now with this thing, it probably wouldn't do a whole lot.
If you could get 15 to 20 miles on it right now, it might clean it out. It just depends on how sooted up it is. If you'll know if it'll clean itself out or not. You're not hurting anything trying it. Just give it a whirl and see what happens.
It won't hurt. Okay.
No, if it'll clean itself out, great. If not, then call Dorsey, on Monday and see what he'll charge you to actually get that thing cleaned out and go that route.
Okay.
The other thing that we have found with that, man, I got to go from memory. We have found even in our own fleet shop, we're adding something to the fuel that's actually helping with that soot buildup. But I don't remember what it is. I'll have to ask my tech. If you will send me an email, Larry, on Monday, I will ask what we're doing inside of our own fleet shop, because we've got still some other trucks, et cetera, that don't have the urea injection. They're just strictly using the DPFs to do the emission on those diesels. And if you'll send me an email, I will tell you what we're using as an additive to actually help with that, and it'll probably help your Dodge. Okay. I just right now, sorry, my brain's full and I don't remember off the top of my head. But email me Monday and I'll find out.
Okay, that would probably be something that you would have to do every tank.
You do every tank, but it'll keep this from happening, and it's still cheaper to do that than to have the DPF clean.
Okay. Another thing too, that should I be putting any additives ever in diesel fuel or with this thing or what?
It's 60,000 miles, probably not. And what I'm going to tell you to do Monday will take care of all of that anyway. So just send me an email, john@drive-radio.com, and I'll tell you what to add, and you'll be fine with that. And then I'll remember it and talk about it next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
You betcha, Larry. Thank you very much. I appreciate the phone call. Barry is up next. Barry, welcome. What's going on today?
Well, hello again. I had called you a couple of months ago when I passed an emissions test, but looked at the readouts comparative to the previous test.
Right.
And the CO had gone from 0.7 up to 3.6. And I think you told me it was unburned fuel, probably.
More than likely.
Yeah. Well, the plot's thickening now is the 98 Ranger, a 4-liter push-rod V6. And now the check engine light is on, so I scanned it. And it said both left and right banks are lean. And I cleaned the mass airflow sensor, but just from one side. I got it out in its housing, and with the CRC MAF cleaner, was only able to spray it and hit it from one direction because there's a deflector behind it. But I really flooded it pretty well, dried it off, and the light came on 2 days later. And the other question I guess I have for you is, I know there's a possibility an exhaust leak could cause this situation, but if it's both left and right,
not typically high CO. Exhaust leak won't typically. It'll change hydrocarbons around, but typically won't do high CO.
Interesting. Well, what would you lean toward with that particular engine? Anything that you've experienced before?
But you had lean codes, correct?
Lean codes for both left and right banks, and
that would be an intake problem.
Yeah, like a vacuum leak.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know if that one's not the plastic intake.
It is the plastic.
Oh yeah, we do a fair amount of those. The plastic intake, the seals fail.
So it's like the gaskets that are between it and the actual engine?
Yeah, they kind of heat it and contract at different rates, and after a time they give up.
Okay.
We have to do like a smoke test. Works pretty good on that to determine.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because I did a propane test, and then I crossed my fingers and used carburetor cleaner, and I could not find any increase in engine speed.
Sure.
But the smoke test might be the way to go. Yeah.
The smoke test, and then the other guys, like our techs, were pretty good at just watching the mass airflow readings, just see if it's even working. It may just be tired too. It just may need to be replaced, and that could be the whole issue.
And what would you say would need to be replaced?
Oh, the mass airflow sensor. If it's lazy, if it may just be tired, but you'd have to watch those readings. My guys are pretty good at watching it and actually determining where it really is and what needs to be done.
I should have said it's got 70,000 miles on it.
It's not bad. Yeah, 30 miles. Yeah.
Oh, and I live near 26 in Wadsworth. Which of your shops would be a good place for me to go?
I'd probably go down to Bracelet, wouldn't you? Yeah, probably. Yeah, Four Seasons. Yeah, you'll see, right? You could be there in about 15 minutes.
You know where he is?
He's at Jewel in Wadsworth. I don't know the exact address.
Oh, okay.
Right at that, pretty close to that. Yeah.
A little bit south of me.
Yeah, he's not too bad. He's a good guy.
And the name of that shop is?
Four Seasons.
Four Seasons. All right. Hey, thank you.
You betcha, Barry. Thanks a lot for calling. We appreciate it. All right, we got through all of the calls in this hour. Lines are open. Call us. We'll load them up for the last hour of Drive Radio, 303 477-5600. As I said earlier, if you got something where you just want to call in, make a comment, talk about Thanksgiving, talk about KLZ in general, talk about the president, talk about the fact we don't drill enough oil, all the things we've talked about today, you know what? You can call that number and talk about anything you want to talk about. Leave any comment you want. And you know what? Some of us might actually pick that topic up and run with it during the week. It's hard to say. But again, that number is 720-541-8255. That's a KLZ Freedom phone. Call it. Most of all, though, if you would call in and tell us what you're thankful for this Thanksgiving, we'll play those during this week of Thanksgiving here on KLZ. Again, it's 720-541-8255. Call us and we'll play those things out during the week, and we'd appreciate it. All right, I've got a tech tip from David in Idaho. This I've got time for, I think, before the top of the hour. When it comes to replacing the fan clutch on your vehicle and knowing which direction it actually spins, determine if the clutch threads are left-handed or right-handed. Take hold of the fan blades and study which way the fan has to run to pull air through the radiator. That's the direction the way the fan will unscrew from the hub. So just a real quick tech tip from David. I've got a couple of more, and when we come back, we'll continue to talk about how to stay safe when you're out shopping this Thanksgiving and Christmas season. With that, we're going to be right back right after the news. Don't go away. John Rush, your host. Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
I might go over there and wasting all my time.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for the highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business, so Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. Turn on Drive Radio and you'll immediately see the difference. For a complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
Hey, it's Randy Corcoran. Monday, I'm off to see the Wizard. Back to Kansas, you know. Matt Dunn has the helm. I hope you'll keep listening to Wake Up with Randy Corcoran, 5 to 8 a.m. on KLZ 560.
Freedom, liberty, truth. KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver.
Listen live at KLZ560radio.com.
KLZ 560.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Mike Craig. The president's call for amnesty receiving heavy criticism from lawmakers. The Blaze Radio's Chris Vermillion.
Alabama Republican Senator Jeff Sessions with a laundry list of reasons on why President Obama's executive action on immigration is the wrong way to go.
The president asked Congress to change those laws. Congress refused, and so he just ignores those laws, creates a system, Megan, that will give 5 million people unlawfully in America the right to stay here, the right to take any job, a photo ID, a social security number, and will pull down wages of Americans, reduce the opportunity for work. And experts tell us it will create a tidal wave of increased illegal immigration in the future.
Killed a black teenager in Ferguson, Missouri, is in talks to resign. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network.
Everyone is making the switch to the Blaze to make it their source for the truth. Why not make it your source for the truth? MakeTheBlaze.com your homepage for news that the other outlets won't even touch. Subscribe to The Blaze TV at theblaze.com/TV or on Dish Network and get access to original programming, like For the Record, the show that exposes what's really going on that the government doesn't want you to know. And Real News, the daily conversation on the topics of the day that matter most. check out the Blaze Radio Network at theblaze.com/radio with original shows like Buck Sexton, The Morning Blaze with Doc Thompson, Pat and Stu, and Jay Severin. Or if you need something to hold in your hands, subscribe to the Blaze magazine. So basically, anywhere you need to go, you can take the truth with you by taking the Blaze with you. This is the Blaze. Truth lives here. So just to recap, anywhere you need to go, you can take the truth with you by taking the Blaze with you. Find out all the ways at theblaze.com.
You've been listening to the Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560. Randy Corcoran at 5, Laura Ingram at 8. Monday morning on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a railroad king, all right. 0 to 60, 7.5. She does a quarter mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower. 500 foot-pounds.
Yeah, that's what Charlie told me, so, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio.
All right.
All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Randy Hunt from Toyota and Steve Horvath from Geno's. And I'm getting pictures from my family. They must be outside doing Christmas lights or something, and it looks like my dog must have ate a rabbit or something.
Oh, no.
Oh, you know, dogs, rabbits, yeah, you know, just rabbit, you know. So, you know, can't be mad at her, you know, what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, invaded their space.
Yeah, you know, she doesn't like them. So you know what? It's the way it goes. So, all right. Gosh, where do we go next? The line's open. Call us. We'll get you right on. 303-477-5600. My wife says, yeah, we're searching for the murder scene. Hang on. I'm going to tell Mike just to call me on the regular phone since the lines are open. Call regular phone. Lines open. 303. You think the station manager would know the number, but let me tell him just in case. And we'll get him right up and talk about some of this charity stuff we've got going on. All right, so get all that housekeeping out of the way. So a couple more safety things. Which, by the way, call us. We'll get you right on air. 303-477-5600. So I ended with be careful not parking next to the the van or the dark tinted windowed SUV and all those kinds of things. So be alert to your surroundings, etc. Be careful of free Wi-Fi. Okay? It might be free for a reason because somebody else might be stealing your info when you actually log into that free Wi-Fi. So my suggestion in a mall especially is do not use their free Wi-Fi. When shopping, save the highest priced item for last. Ladies, leave your purse at home if possible. What you can carry and do your best not to take multiple trips to the car to go store your items in. If somebody's watching, they're now going to know your vehicle's full of a lot of items. You're now more of a target for a break-in. All right, Mike, our station manager, good afternoon now. Actually, we just switched over.
Hey, John.
How you doing, man? Good to hear from you.
I'm good, thanks.
So fill us in on some things that not only that we as Drive Radio can help with here this time of the year with the different charities and organizations, et cetera, but some of our listeners could probably join in also. Fill us in.
Well, how about a simple system? First, pick up a turkey that's 12 pounds or more, a frozen turkey. There's still sales at the store, and take it to the Denver Rescue Mission, the Lawrence Street Shelter. They make it really easy. There's always people there to take your donation. You barely get out of the car.
Yeah, and we talked yesterday on my show, Mike, that the Rescue Mission doesn't only just supply meals to the homeless that are in that downtown area. They actually help distribute turkeys and meals through other charitable organizations in town also to help feed a lot of other people than just what's in that one little center down there, correct?
Exactly right. I was amazed last year helping out with a Thanksgiving celebration in Denver. They get about 7,000 turkeys and food boxes, and found out that a great many of their turkeys actually came from Denver Rescue Mission. So they're really out there helping a lot of agencies.
That's awesome. Okay, so Denver Rescue Mission, everybody knows where to find them. You can just go and Google and Denver Rescue Mission. That's the easy one. We'll put some links up on our Facebook page to that also later today. So that's an easy one. What else can we help with, Mike?
The other number 2 on the list would be to make a call today to Be the Gift. It's a nonprofit and a ministry that helps single moms. And what they do is they bring a team of folks, guys and women that are both craftsmen, people that are willing to help do work in the home of a single mom. And they fix things like, they'll get carpet donated, so they'll replace the carpet if it's torn up and dangerous. Or there might be hand railing where it's rickety and somebody's going to fall and hurt themselves. They do very practical things, and sometimes they even replace appliances. It's an amazing group of people that go in and do, some months I think they do as many as 4 or 5 projects. So these guys are really, they're involved. They've got Home Depot and Lowe's on board.
Awesome.
And a team of people, so they need volunteers badly, John. And I know your listeners, you got some great guys and that could help out.
We do, and all of you guys out there listening, guys and gals, by the way, some of you are very handy. I know from when you call in and talk to us. So to Mike's point, some of you that are listening, if you can help out Mike, how do they get involved with Be the Gift, and how can they be those hands to help out some of these single moms?
We're looking for 10 to 20 volunteers that are, the projects will most of them start in January, but they need to plan for those now. There's a couple months of planning that goes into each one. So now, right now at the time, and it's Chris, C-H-R-I-S, so just normal spelling, Chris at bethegift.com.
Awesome.
And bethegift.com is the website. You can go on there and see some of the photos, the projects they've done, and kind of check it out. But emailing Chris would be a good start. Awesome. If you're not super handy, because I'm not, John, a great way to do it is there's a has a heart for single moms. It's a perfect way for them to be thankful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, and I talked yesterday on my show that one of the best ways for folks that struggle during the holidays with depression and just different things that happen to them, that, some have memories of loved ones that have passed away this time of year, things like that. Mike, we talked yesterday that one of the best ways to get over some of your own internal issues is to go help somebody else.
You're right. And plus, you and I talked is we all get so eye-focused, family-focused, got a shop, we've still got kids in school, and so there's a ton, and that was pretty, not long ago for you the same way.
That's right.
Get focused on all the other stuff. A great way to really focus your family and yourselves on Thanksgiving and, Christmas close coming up here, just to start, let's go help some folks.
Yeah.
Let's have somebody to our home that does have a place to go for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Be the Gift, sign up, then in January, February, whenever the next project is, that you're able to go help. These single moms, John, it's amazing to hear their stories. Our sister station, we've done some interviews, so maybe we'll arrange that for yours too, somewhere down the road.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to do that. So, Mike, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to call us. These are great organizations. I'll continue to plug these through the weeks ahead, and we'll get as many volunteers out and see what we can do to get this helped out, and along with Denver Rescue Mission on the turkey side of the fence.
Thanks so much.
You bet, Mike. Appreciate it, man. I'll see you this week. Thanks a lot. That was Mike Train, our station manager. I guess you could say he's kind of my boss, I guess, in a way, but yeah, he's really a good friend of mine, and we just have a really great relationship. Mike has been a huge advocate of Drive Radio. In fact, part of the reason that we're on KLZ in the first place is he really recruited us to come here to be a part of the KLZ family from Clear Channel, and I appreciate Mike so much. He does a lot for us on Drive Radio. So those of you that are listening, Mike's the key guy, and those charitable organizations that we just mentioned are great ways for those of you out there that want to help and can do some other things. It'd be a fantastic thing to do, and you know what? That's part of what we do as a country too. We give ourselves away on a regular basis. Mary, welcome to Drive Radio. What's going on?
Hi, I've been listening to you off and on, and I know you've been talking about trucks. And then I remember a week or two ago, you were talking about for 3, and I wish I'd written that down.
That's okay.
I have a daughter who's wanting to get a little small pickup truck for her 16-year-old son, and
Awesome.
she was wondering Why didn't I write those down?
That's okay. No, we can do that again. It's a great question, by the way. And Randy from Toyota is here with us. And Toyota builds a couple of fantastic, great, I shouldn't say a couple. They build one line of trucks that fits that description. And there's some others. We'll get into those. But Randy, what's Toyota got to start with?
Toyota we have the Tacoma lineup, which is available in a regular cab, access cab, and then a double cab, which has, 4 full-size doors. So lots of variations. The one downside is it's extremely popular. So we can't build them fast enough. So if you're looking for one of those, it may be a little tough from a new standpoint. And even on the used side of the market, they sell very quickly in the used market. So just be aware of that. The other manufacturers of small trucks, Nissan has the Frontier, which has been around for a while, a really solid truck. And then Chevrolet and GMC just re-entered that market with their Colorado and Canyon, respectively. They just went on sale in the last month or two. I've seen them in person, but I haven't driven them. I don't know.
I have not driven one yet either. It was on the GM sent out a list the other day. Said, what press cars would you actually like to drive coming up? And that was on my list because I haven't driven one yet. So we'll see. And then, of course, Mary, there's also on the used side of the fence, if you want to go back just a little bit in age, same models we just mentioned are still there. You can add to that list, though, if you go a few years back, Ford Ranger, which was a good, small, little truck, were fantastic. The Chevy S10, which they haven't made for a number of years, those are harder to find in a clean version. They haven't been just totally worn out. But if you find one of those, they're not a bad little vehicle also. And guys, what am I missing that's even older?
Dakota.
Oh, Dakota. That's right. Dakota pickup.
Okay.
That was more mid-size.
Right. Yeah, it was about the size now, but you guys are building with Tacoma now, right?
Yeah. I had one of those back in the early 90s.
And then the older Tacomas are actually a good vehicle too, and they're a little smaller than what they are today, the older versions of them.
Yeah, anything before, 2004 was a little bit smaller, and then the generation before that, I think, came out in 96.
Okay.
And like I said, they're getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah, the older ones especially. Well, just so you know, Mary, good, clean, used trucks in general are always a hot item because there's not that many around. Once somebody typically gets a truck, they either use it until it's just done, finished, there's nothing left of it, or they babied it so much that they'll bring premium dollars. It's hard to find good, clean pickups.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes.
All right, and you also tell your daughter if she's ever got any questions, you don't have to wait for Saturday. Send me an email, John, John, at drive-radio.com, and I'd be happy to help her out.
Okay, John.
John at drive with a hyphen, so drive-radio.com.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let me just tell you, I'm not a mechanic. I don't work on my cars, but I listen to you every Saturday and learn so many wonderful, useful tidbits.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Appreciate you calling in, Mary, and letting us know that. So, guys, see, we have everybody that listens. Sometimes we think it's just that gearhead guy that's, plugging in and wants to know how to do X, Y, and Z. And the reality is we have a really wide array of listeners. And Mary, thank you for saying that. We appreciate it very much. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Chris has a comment on a YouTube video. And Marilyn actually has a comment on our reach out that we just did to single moms a moment ago. We'll talk about both of those when we come back. John Rush, your host again, Driver Radio, KLZ 560.
Hunting down that hard to find part.
You want to know why? With some callers, they could be using a Bluetooth or being on speakerphone or something like that, and that can resonate and echo. It could be. Because I've had it with only 2 callers today.
Those people have never tried to find an alternator for an 82 Fiat on a Saturday. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location.
I was hearing it in my headphones too when I put them on. So,
do you love things that require gas or diesel fuel to run? Do you need a job? Or are you just looking for a change? Napa Auto Parts is looking for delivery drivers and salespeople in all locations in the Denver metro area. If you have experience in the industry, that helps, but it is not mandatory. Please go to NapaAutoJobs.com. Again, that's NapaAutoJobs.com and fill out the application. Please mention Drive Radio on that application, Napa Auto Parts, an equal opportunity employer.
After 30 years of business, Gino's Auto Service is expanding. Hi, this is Jennifer, and my dad owns Gino's Auto Service in Littleton. What does our expansion mean for you? Savings on all repair and maintenance services. We work on all makes and models, and your satisfaction is always guaranteed. At Gino's, we use genuine Napa parts and are AAA approved. Stop by and see the transformation at Bowles and Canyon, or visit us online at genosautoservice.com. That's genosautoservice.com.
Our Battle West Auto wants to help you get the best fuel mileage you can. Approximately 3.5 million gallons of gas a day are lost due to underinflated tires. There are many things we can do to help you boost your fuel mileage, and most of it comes down to basic maintenance. No one likes to spend money on unplanned repairs. Let our Battle West Auto and Truck do what they do best. Keep your vehicles running at peak performance. From tune-ups to wheel alignments, they've got you covered. With a 3-year or 36,000-mile warranty on most cars. On the web, visit our BattleWestAutoandTruck.com or call 303-422-1065. Our Battle West Auto and Truck, where every question is important. Located on West 64th Avenue between Ward Road and Sims.
Ever try to buy an air filter and get lost in catalogs and vehicle descriptions? Well, K&N, the inventor of reusable cotton filters, identification number off your dashboard or car registration, and K&N will show you the filter that fits your car. It's never been easier to buy a K&N, the filter that helps your car run better.
All right, John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Steve Horvath from Geno's and Randy Hunt from Toyota. Appreciate both these guys coming down and helping me out. Chris in Denver, what's going on today?
Oh, I'd like to wish you guys a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
And then
Likewise, by the way, same to you.
Okay. I called a couple weeks ago, and there was a thing on YouTube about using like 44K in like a Ford.
Right, in the EcoBoost.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I did get in fact, our technician up in Idaho, David, who does a bunch of Ford stuff, and actually sends us our tech tips. That's where the tech tip earlier came from. He did a little research on that. Didn't think there was any validity to that at all.
You know, and I was just wondering that because I've used it and I've never had a problem.
I don't think there's any validity. I think that's more of a scare, a scare tactic sort of a thing than anything else. And I'd run 44K in it. I wouldn't bother it at all.
Okay, thank you.
No, but I appreciate the phone call and the follow-up, and especially appreciate David up in Idaho doing the research on that for me, so I didn't have to. So that helps out a lot. So David in Idaho, if you're listening, I appreciate that.
What was the deal with the 44K?
Somebody had a YouTube video, a Ford technician, about using 44K and the EcoBoost, the EcoBoost engines in the Ford F-150s, and something to do with harming the turbo. And I don't know, I didn't buy it. And I even watched the video myself, and David did some research. I was like, nah, I don't know. This guy's off. Got it.
So I should have asked.
You should in the future do so, because that's on YouTube. So that's a question being asked. All right, Marilyn is up next. Marilyn, welcome.
Hi there.
How are you today?
Oh, fine and dandy.
Great.
Yeah, I wanted to put in a kudos to Larry's Automotive up in Westminster.
Yep.
The guy is honest, respectable to women, and does excellent work. You never have to worry about driving after he's worked on it.
That's awesome. Well,
Now,
appreciate that.
the other one, is there any way to get out to women, to bringing their cars in? Every time you hear a horror story, it's a woman dealing with,
Yeah, well, and here's my theory on that, Marilyn. I think there's an even amount of that sort of thing that goes on from women to men. The men just aren't humble enough to admit that it happened to them. I think it happens on both sides of the fence. I just don't think men, again, I'll reiterate, I just don't think they're humble enough to say that they feel like they got taken advantage of. So I don't think women get any more taken advantage of than men, but I think men just don't want to admit that they did.
Yeah, but there's so many women out there that don't know cars.
You're
like
right.
me.
Well, there's a lot of men today also that don't, and to your point, all the more reason why you've got to make sure you're going someplace you can trust.
I hope the word gets out there. I mean, to be treated respectably when you go into these places.
means a lot.
Yes, it does. Sure does, Marilyn. No, great point. I appreciate you saying that about Larry. And Larry's our producer here every single Saturday. He's the guy that makes sure that we get this thing done on a weekly basis and get the phone calls answered. And he keeps me straight with what I'm doing. And we talk off air during the week. And he's a great guy. So I appreciate the kudos, Marilyn.
All right, good. Have a happy holidays.
You do the same, Marilyn. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And yeah, we have a great group of facilities inside of our Colorado Select group. So if you can find any of them, by the way, by going to our website, coloradoselect.com, look those guys up, see who's near you. And we have a great group of individuals, shop owners, technicians, service advisors. And I like when I hear somebody like Marilyn call in and say, I feel like when I go in, I get treated with respect and I get taken care of. And I don't feel like I'm a second-class citizen just because I don't know about cars. And guys, that's something that the entire industry, I feel, has gotten better across the board. So it's not just independent, but even on the dealer side, Randy, everybody has gotten better. Now, is it 100% clean? And is every single place you're going to go into, dealership and independents, that exact experience Marilyn just talked about? Absolutely not. No different than there's not all good lawyers, there's not all good doctors, there's not all good bankers. I mean, guys, I can go down the list. Why is that? Because there's people involved in every one of those things I just mentioned. So there's good and bad of both. But in the auto industry, I will say this. There's been individuals like Steve sitting next to me, Randy across from me, myself, where I've purposely even served on boards and advisory committees and things like that, and done my very best, especially with this radio show in the Denver market, to bring awareness, to raise that level up across the board, dealership-wise and on the independent side. And I think Drive Radio has been very instrumental here in the Denver area of making that happen. So hats off to all of you guys that participate and make this thing happen, because it's because of you guys that we've been able to do that. And you guys want to add to that?
We raised the bar, continue to raise the bar to each other. Right. To be better. And one of the things that we see is that, women have so much purchasing power and they drive a lot of the decisions. And I think 60% of the people that bring their cars in for service are women.
That's right.
So, you're seeing situations now where the service writers are women.
That's right.
And, there's that. We know it's important. Some dealerships have a ladies' day, or they'll have massage chairs or something special for women, just specifically for that reason.
Yeah, and that's good. And I'm glad. And to Marilyn's point, I'm glad that we have folks that we deal with on a regular basis that feel that way. So speaking of ladies, and by the way, this is just directed to ladies. Anybody out there, men included, can take these pointers that I've given in regards to staying safe while you're shopping, but it does pertain a little more to women, because I feel like they're going to get targeted when they go to the mall, even more so than some men. Not that you men won't be, because you're a target when you leave your car, just like a lady is. So we talked about being safe, being aware, watching what's going on, paying attention, only buy what you need. I've got a few of my own that I threw into this mix, and by the way, some of what I mentioned even earlier, some of those are mine, some of what I've stolen off the internet. Keep your receipt with you and not in the bag. Why is that? Well, let's say that you do take a trip out to the car and you leave some items and you go back in and do a little more shopping, and all of a sudden you come out and the car's gone. At least you know what you bought. You might be able to turn that on insurance. You may not, but at least you got a receipt with you to know exactly what was going on. A timestamp on the receipt showing when you were actually there. All those things might come into play later, so keep your receipt with you. Have your keys out and ready as soon as you leave the store or the mall. Don't get out to the side of the car, fumbling around trying to find the keys. Again, it's just one more thing to be distracted with, that when you leave, you want to be ready to hop in your car, get the door, locked back up, and then out you go. Be alert when you leave. Make sure no one is following you out of the store or the mall. If you think there is somebody following you, just go right back in the mall and keep walking around. That'll tell you whether they were following you or just exiting. Okay, you can act like you forgot something, whatever. Another suggestion is know where you're going to go shopping that day, and either look up on the internet ahead of time mall security, or when you get there, look at the big boards that are inside and write mall security down or put it into your phone. Why? If you've got a problem, call mall security. They're going to get there much faster than the police will. Now, some malls, there's a police department on site, and I get that, but typically mall security is roaming around, and they can get to you much, much faster than what the police is going to be able to get there. So again, just another side note. Another thing I added in on my own. Don't talk to strangers even when they seem really nice. Why? Because they may be profiling you. Okay? They might be really, really nice people, but be careful who and what you're talking about. Also, be careful what you say to the store clerk. Not because the clerk's unfriendly, but there may be somebody behind you in line listening to everything you just said. Where you've been, where you're going, are you going home? Okay, there's a lot of stuff that I've heard at the counter that sometimes, honestly, it's like, really, you're sharing all that information? Why? You just gave everybody your life story standing in line behind you. Don't talk that much when you're in line. Now, if you're all by yourself and you know the clerk and you're having a little chatty conversation, great. Just make sure nobody else is around listening, okay? This time of year specifically, though, be really careful with that. Carry defense items. Pepper spray, if you're a CCW holder, you can carry your gun if you need to. That's totally up to you as to how you want to do that. But the pepper spray is a good defense item. Put the purchases that you buy in the trunk or under the privacy screen on your SUV, not in the back seat. Why? Because people won't be able to see what, even if they're just walking by and you're pulling out, they won't be able to see inside what's going on. Lastly, if you feel like you're being watched, you just have that sense that, man, somebody's watching me, something's not right here, call mall security. Back to my point a minute ago about keeping some of those phone numbers handy. We got to take a quick break, but guys, before we do, is there anything you want to add to what I've said? Did I miss anything?
Just the only thing is, on most key fobs, they've got that panic button, which is going to, honk the horn and flash lights. So that's a good point. Defense thing.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to my notes right now.
The other thing is your lock settings. You can change those lock settings. Most key fobs, you click it once, it'll unlock the driver's door. Click it again, it'll unlock all of them. And then some cars, when you put it in reverse, it's going to automatically lock. Just so and those are customizable.
Randy, you're great point. I didn't think about that. You probably don't want all the doors unlocking.
Right.
Okay. Especially if you're just going to go to the mall. Now, to Randy's point, those are interchangeable. You can change those on the fly. You're ready to go to the mall. Wait, I don't want all the doors unlocking. I just want my driver's door to unlock. Great. Go in there, change it. And folks, if you don't know how to do that, there's a great resource typically right inside the glove box of your car. It's called the Owner's Manual.
Yes.
It will walk you through what I just said step by step. Right, Randy?
Absolutely. Now, you have the control
menu to pick through. Yeah,
it is sometimes complicated. You have to have your left hand out the window, your foot on. You have to do a little dance around.
It is. To Randy's point, depending upon the manufacturer, some are very easy, some are not. My point is, that's all in the owner's manual. If you forgot how to do some of that, yes, that's important. And I forgot about Randy's point a minute ago. Everybody's key fob now for the last 10 plus years or more. There's a panic button right on that fob. It's an easy thing to just hit. If you're walking out, you think something's odd. Most thieves, when they hear that going off, are not going to get anywhere close because they know attention has just been drawn to that area.
Sure.
One thing I put in earlier, and we'll go to the break here in just a minute, is the part about watching where you park. That's probably the biggest key to this whole being safe thing there is. Don't just pull in, look for the open spot, slide in, walk into the store. Be very proactive and controlled in where you park your vehicle. You don't have to park in the front door, and I realize, especially in the shopping season, you're probably not going to get at the front door. You know what? If you're in an underground parking garage or you're out the edge of the lot, etc., don't park next to the bushes where somebody could jump out. Don't park around the corner and there's a big blind spot in the underground garage. If those are the only spots open, leave. Come back later. Okay. By the way, case or a little tip on when to shop. Early in the morning is best. If you can plan your shopping day to be there first thing in the morning, you'll have your pick of shopping places or parking places to then go shop after. If you're going at 7 o'clock at night in the Christmas season, good luck. Good luck on finding a spot. And right now, it's dark at about 4:45. So anything after that, you're going to be in the dark. So really, folks, we're trying to keep you safe. Pay attention. This is for the men and ladies both. you're still going to pay money. Even with insurance, I should say, there's a deductible and you're going to spend money. So be careful. All right, with that, let's get back to the show. Give us a call. We got half an hour left. We'll get as many calls as we can in. Special questions for Randy Hunt from Toyota. Anything for Steve, myself, we'll answer them. 303-477-5600. Lines are open right now. Calls will get you right on air. Again, Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560.
Have you failed an emissions test and don't know what to do? Have been trying to fix it yourself? Our Metal West is your answer. We score 100% on our success ratio. That's confidence for the customer. We are always willing to explain the repair process to you. We use a proven diagnostic format that we have developed since the emissions program began here in Colorado. For an honest, understandable, and reasonably priced diagnosis, stop by and see us. We've helped clean our Colorado air since 1981. Call our Metal West Auto and Truck 303-422-1065 or see us on the web at our MetalWestAutoandTruck.com. If you would like to stop by to make an appointment, we are at 11752 West 64th Avenue.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the batting the damping mechanism on our driver line belt tensioners, to our that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff: Napa Auto Parts.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
Do you love things that require gas or diesel fuel to run? Do you need a job? Or are you just looking for a change? Napa Auto Parts is looking for delivery drivers and salespeople in all locations in the Denver metro area. If you have experience in the industry, that helps, but it is not mandatory. Please go to NapaAutoJobs.com. Again, that's NapaAutoJobs.com and fill out the application. Please mention Drive Radio on that application. Napa Auto Parts, an equal opportunity employer. All right, half an hour left of Drive Radio. Beautiful Saturday, gorgeous day. Gonna get a little cooler tonight, colder tomorrow, but for today, it's absolutely gorgeous out. If you haven't got the Christmas lights up, I would do it this weekend, because you never know what next weekend is going to be like. So, besides that, the car show is next weekend, so you don't want to be doing Christmas lights when you go to the car show. So, I should announce that real fast, which I will do next week. Let's make sure I say this right. O'Reilly Auto Parts Rocky Mountain Auto Show. It's the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th at the Colorado Convention Center. We gave tickets away earlier today. We'll give more tickets away later on. Randy, you also had a charity that Toyota's working with where people can actually drop off toys, do some things like that. Tell us about that also.
Correct. For the month of November and through the middle of December, we're doing a toy drive at all of our Toyota service centers here. Actually, all of them in the state are doing it. It's bring a toy in, unwrapped toy, new unwrapped toy, and you'll get $10 off your service. And then it's not one specific charity. We're allowing each dealership, if they've worked with Toys for Tots, locals.
Good idea.
They can make that decision
Awesome.
on their own.
Very cool. Very good.
We've done it the last few years, and it's been pretty successful.
Awesome. Okay, good. Awesome. Good to hear. All right. So you guys also, things we've already talked about today. Camry, we talked a little bit about 2015. Actually, the RS and the Sienna are also new. I'll get a chance to drive those and give everybody a full review here in the near future on that. But Randy, you guys also just launched, and it'll be a California car only for right now, but you just launched the regular, you can go down and buy the hydrogen Toyota.
Correct. It's called the Mirai, and it's a sedan I think it's a 4-seater. It's going to be about the size of a Camry from overall.
Yeah, I think you're right in that
size. So it'll start. It'll go on sale in California next year, and we also made an announcement that up in the northeast portion of the country, we're working with I think Air Liquide up there for the infrastructure on that.
Okay.
So hydrogen powered car. And it actually uses a lot of the technology that we've used in Prius and other hybrids, the electric motors and some of those other components that they work in both of those applications. So it has an onboard fuel cell, which converts hydrogen to electricity. The byproduct is water vapor. And it currently has a range of about 300 miles.
Okay.
Fuel up time is similar to if you were to fill up with gasoline.
That's right. It's actually faster from what I understand, a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the downside of a hydrogen car is, where would I go to get hydrogen? We don't have those hydrogen fueling stations all across the country. So we're working, like I mentioned, the company up in the Northeast, and we have another partnership on the West Coast to install those public fueling stations. And our research has shown that for the entire state of California, we need 68 stations to cover everyone.
Okay.
I think you'll find that the hydrogen stations, at least initially, will be very similar to Tesla's supercharger stations.
Got it.
Strategically placed.
Well, from what I understand, and some of this comes from information right from you guys, and I apologize, I'll remember the gentleman's name at Toyota that's in charge of the fuel cell program, but I've interviewed him a couple of different times, once here, once on my other show on Rush to Reason. But from what he's saying, the natural gas is actually going to be the supplier to actually, that's the process in getting the hydrogen started. So that's where the fuel will come from. And according to him, the retrofit to current stations isn't really that big of a deal to make happen. So a lot of current stations could be retrofitted, become a hydrogen fueling center, and off you go.
Right.
Which makes it really nice.
And that, once we get our car rolling and other manufacturers, I think Hyundai has one in the works, and Honda as well. And I'm sure there's others.
I think Chevrolet does too, if I'm not mistaken. They're not as far along as what I think you guys are, but you're far. I mean, Toyota isn't just far along. They're there. The car's being built, produced, sold in California and some other parts of the country in the near future.
Absolutely. And just so y'all know out there, we've been working on this project for over 20 years.
That's right. Yeah. I know a little bit about this because I interviewed the guy in charge of this on the Toyota side. This is not something that just came out because gas prices went up, back in 2008. This is a project that's been going on for a very long time. Toyota realizing at some point, we're going to have to make that next leap. They have Toyota. Their theme, let's go places. Well, they're going to go places with hydrogen and other things, and I think that's a technology of the future. So,
how far can they go between fill-ups?
About 300 miles.
300 miles. Okay, sorry.
About like gas. So it's going to be very comparable to gas.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very, very much so. Let's go to Chris in Sedalia. What's going on, Chris?
Well, I just got a new, gently used 03 Corolla.
Okay.
155,000 miles.
Okay.
And was coming up on my first oil change that I needed to do, and wondering which oil I should be looking at for that.
We're going to let the Toyota expert answer that. I could bring it up real quick, but he probably knows off the top of his head.
Are you talking about the API SL, which didn't seem like it was? Wasn't seeing that.
You'll be newer than that now. You won't find what's in the owner's manual today because that car is now 12 years old. You'll be into higher specs than what that car listed, which is fine because they are retro. So if you find oil that's newer than what your car requires, which you will, that'll be fine. That's not a problem.
And do I need to be looking at the ZDP and
No, not on that car at all. You do not have to.
Okay. Is there and the other question I had was, the car's running great, looks great. Just wondering what I should be looking at long term. It's got a manual transmission. Engine seems to be running good. Transmission seems solid. But what should I be keeping my eye on for the future?
Randy, you probably know that car better than I do, or Steve, either one of you know it better than I do. Maybe I wasn't listening. Is it an automatic or standard transmission? Standard. Okay, good. That's actually even better.
Timing belt would be one. I would make sure that was done at its proper time, which is probably 110, 100, somewhere around there.
Yeah, maybe 90,000.
And that, by the way, that's showing also a 530 weight oil for that engine. So make sure you're running 530. It's almost 4 quarts of oil that it requires.
Maybe valve adjust wouldn't be a bad idea if that's adjustable on that one.
3 would have been, I mean, that's very close out timing, yeah, so.
They may not need it then.
And have you got maintenance records on it at all, by the way, Chris?
Pretty much just oil change and tire purchases. I don't think anything major has been done, but it's been there for a couple of recalls, but nothing was really jumping out at me. Like, I don't think the water pump's been done.
I mean, the first thing I would do if it were me and it's my car getting it at that kind of mileage, I would change every fluid on the car from transmission to, of course, engine you're already talking about, brake fluid, coolant. I would start everything fresh just because that way from this point forward what your calendar of events needs to be moving forward. Your schedule of events needs to be going forward. I'd start fresh with everything. Now, you don't have to worry about fluids like, Freon and things like that, but just doing your basic fluids, start fresh there. Have a good bumper-to-bumper inspection done all at the same time. Check your brakes, check linings, check the exhaust system, check belts, hoses, somebody can peek in at the timing belt. And if you haven't done that, I think I'd start with a fresh timing belt also if you don't know the history of that.
One thing you can do, if you go to toyota.com/owners, you can register your vehicle on there with the VIN, and you can look up service history if it's been done at a Toyota dealership. So that doesn't matter, not just your 2003 Corolla, but any Toyota customer can go online. It just takes a couple minutes. You need the VIN, name, email, that kind of stuff. You can pull all that stuff up. You can also look up to see if there's any existing campaigns or anything like that. So,
great. Actually, if you call me too, I could run the same thing. We have like a Carfax kind of thing we've been hooking up.
So you can do both sides of that.
Yeah,
and it actually shows that's a great idea. So you can cover the dealer side and the aftermarket side and combine those two and hopefully get a good idea of what's been going on.
What's been happening.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. I appreciate all the help.
All right, Chris. Appreciate the phone call. Thank you very much. All right, let's get one more call in before our break. Russ and Cheyenne, what's going on?
Hey, quick question.
Sure.
So I have my wife's Venture.
Yes.
And I had a rocker arm pull out of the head.
Oh, okay.
This last week.
All right.
So I've got it tore down. So far, it's only one rocker arm. I guess my question is, I got a helicoil at one. So I just do the rest of the head since I have a part, or?
Yes. I would. I would, just because it's like a 5.4 Ford with the plugs that pop out.
Yeah.
You can do just the one cylinder, but you know what? You're going to do the others at some point in time anyway. So you might as well. You're there. The labor's already handled. All of the hard work is done. Go ahead and do the other ones while you're there.
Okay.
I would.
Another quick question. My master flow sensor is going out. It's been doing it for a little while. It used to be, it tripped the light when I was getting on the interstate or something.
Okay.
Whereas now it's just kicking all the time. So I called Napa for their choices they had, and they have a new OEM or they have a reman.
I like that OEM.
The OEM is like $300. The reman is like $100.
Yeah.
So I
they're both good quality.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm with. I mean, I'd buy the OEM.
I prefer to put the OEM, but they're both good quality. But
okay.
I always just like the OEM side of it. If you could do that, it's easier.
Okay.
I think it lasts longer, Russ.
Okay. Well, that's what I needed. I kind of figured that once my wife gets done with it and we get her a new car, then my kid's gonna be driving it.
Yeah,
So.
that's a good idea. So that's what I always did. It's a great way to do it.
Okay.
Perfect. Good idea. And that's yeah. By the way, those of you that buy cars, keep cars, sell cars, etc. One thing to always think about, and at least I always did this, was if you've got young kids and they're going to be driving at some point in time, which they typically will be, especially out west here, they will be driving at some point in time. One thing I always did was kind of in the back of my mind, thought, okay, will this make a good kid's car? Okay. Well, if it did, typically selling that car off, trading it in, etc., you don't get the value out of it that you would if you kept it and gave it to one of your kids. Now, I'm not saying hand down the 1970 Pinto. No, that car wasn't safe, and no, we're probably not going to want to pass that down. But if it's anything that's 10, 12 years or newer with airbags and the new safety items, etc., is that feasible to pass down to a young driver that's just learning how to drive? Most definitely. Would I put a kid in a new car? Randy, I know Randy's sitting here and he likes new cars because that's what he does, but no, I would not. I would let them learn in something that's a few years old. then I would put them into something newer down the road. And I'm one that just says if they can do that on their own and pay for it, more power to you. But when mom and dad's writing a check, mom and dad's writing a check. So that's me. All of you out there, I know, have different ideas on how to do that. And there's no wrong idea. That's just how I did it. And the other rule of thumb on kids that learn to drive, put them in what they're going to be driving while they're learning. So they know the vehicle they're going to drive down the road, and they know the blind spots, they know how it handles, they know how it turns and works and all those different things. Get them in what they're going to be driving down the road now, and that just helps out. So that's for kid drivers. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Ralph in Lafayette has a question on Mobile One. I'm your host, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Need a one-stop auto repair solution in Boulder? At John's 4x4 Center, they service and maintain more than just 4x4s. From big trucks to diesel pickups, their team of service specialists and technicians have the computer diagnostics, tools, and expertise to service and repair any make or model. They combine their skills with integrity, giving you the best service in the industry. From preventative maintenance to major repairs, you can trust your vehicle to John's 4x4. Located on Arapahoe Road, just east of 63rd, behind Carbon One. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 until 5:30, with convenient shuttle service and after-hours drop. If you're ready to form a solid relationship with an auto repair shop, the new owners at John's 4x4 Center are committed to providing the personal and professional service you're looking for. Give them a call at 303-449-2640. Check them out on the web or follow them on Facebook at johns4x4.com.
Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the parts you need. Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty, but at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right part store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Having transmission problems? Stop by Larry's Automotive today. We're your only Colorado Select Auto Care in North Denver that also specializes in automatic and manual transmissions. We're a family-owned small business taking care of your family-owned fleet of cars, trucks, and SUVs since 1994. We specialize in transmission and drivetrain problems and offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. We're also an ATRA member. Call us at 303- Larry's Automotive, a proud member of Colorado Select Auto Care.
24 seconds. I timed it. It took me just 24 seconds to find a AAA certified master mechanic who offers the best peace of mind warranty in the state. A 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair. At coloradoselect.org, I search my city and boom, I'm done. Colorado Select Auto Care puts their member shops through a rigorous set of requirements, so I know no matter which shop I choose, I'll get the best auto repair service possible. That's 24 seconds well spent. coloradoselect.org.
All right, we're back. We're just laughing because the owner's manual on vehicles just doesn't get cracked open much. And Toyota, by the way, has a great app. For those of you Toyota dealers or Toyota owners out there, you don't have to go to the dealer to get your owner's manual. Is what I was really trying to get out of my mouth. It's all garbled up here. So, Randy, explain how that works.
Yeah, so we have an app. We came out with it probably a year or so ago. Initially, it was for iPhones or the iOS, and now we have it for the Droid platform as well. But just go to either the App Store or what is it, Google Play?
Google Play, yeah. I think that's right.
Just type in Toyota Owners, and there's an app for you, and there's tons of information on there. You can find a dealer. You can actually that last caller with the 2003 Corolla, I just pulled up on there. The owner's manual, the maintenance manual, all that stuff. went to a dealership to get replacement owner's manuals, which cost $40 to $50, and they take a month or so to get it
free right here.
Yep, you can just look at everything up you need there.
Very cool. Let's go to Ralph, who's up next. Ralph, welcome. What's going on?
Oh, I just learned something interesting on oil that I hadn't known before, researching Mobil 1, and found there was a lawsuit a few years ago, Mobil sued Castrol, and about using full synthetic. So now Mobil 1 is not even a full synthetic. It's a mixture, a blend also. So I don't know if you've ever discussed that or knew that, but the only true synthetic left, I think, is Enzoil.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the lawsuit. Fill me in on that.
A few years ago, Mobil sued Castrol for claiming their oil was fully synthetic, and it wasn't. It was a blend, and they lost. So Mobil said, "Why should we do the super duper oil at the olefin spec? 100% synthetic." So now everybody advertises full synthetic, but it really isn't, because you can sue them, but there's no recourse.
I am not. I'll have to do some research on that one. I'm not aware of that. I'll do a little research and bring that back.
Mobil versus Castrol.
Yeah, I will. I'll do some research on that and bring that information back to our listeners, because that one I'm not familiar with, but I'll do some research and find out.
Because all of us think Mobil 1, is full synthetic, and it says on the can, and every other manufacturer now says full synthetic also, but it is meaningless. So you have to do some research and see what you come up with.
We should have Dan from Universal.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got some guys in our back pocket we could bring on and actually talk about that. I actually toured one of the petroleum plants that we actually work with here. I actually buy oil from them. I know Steve does also. Universal Oil. They don't sell retail; they just sell through fleets and shops and dealerships and things like that. But I know theirs is fully synthetic. So I guess maybe it depends on how you're trying to define fully synthetic and so on, whether you're looking at, group 4, group 5 oils, et cetera, or 5 and 6 oils, I should say. I don't know. I'll do a little research on that and find it out. It would not keep me from using Mobil 1 as a product, but I'll do some research and find out all about it, and I'd be happy to do that. So, all right, close to the end of the show. We might have time for one more call. If you call in, we'll get you up as quickly as we can. 303-477-5600. In the meantime, I'll do a quick review of the Dodge 2500 four-wheel drive crew cab. I drove that truck last week. 6.4 liter engine. That's the difference in it. I've got a bunch of those trucks that I own in my fleet, but none of them with the 6.4 engine. So the 6.4 engine does about 1.5 miles to the gallon, worse than a 5.7, but the power, in my opinion, is well worth it. The 6.4 works phenomenal. That truck in general just works great. I like the interior setup of that Dodge, and being a 3/4 ton. I'm not offending Randy because Toyota doesn't make a 3/4 ton. I wish they did. So he can take that back to the higher ups and actually tell them that I wish they made a 3/4 ton truck. I'd own a Toyota if they did. But the Dodge 2500, great truck, great interior design, great cab design. And like I said, I own I think about 10 of those trucks in my fleet. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't own them. I own some Chevys and some Fords also, but Dodge has become the most popular brand for me in my fleet for obvious reasons. My guys like it. It's very versatile. It's got great storage. They've done a good job of the interior cab design. The 2500 series, just a great truck, and they've got great fleet pricing for me, which helps me out immensely. But I encourage you, go to our website, drive-radio.com. Also go to our YouTube page, which is just go to YouTube. In the search bar of YouTube, just type in Drive Radio, all one word, and you'll find all of our reviews. All of them are there. You can't miss them. Easy to find. There's over 100 videos that we've got on there on various topics, from oil to you name it. It's all there on YouTube. So up next, coming up, I got another caller that we're queuing up right now, but don't go away. Sportsmen of Colorado will be up right after us. They're going to talk about Pure Hunting TV show on the Sportsman channel. We'll have Will Schmidt and Chris Nowak, and their topics are going to be hunts this year, a lot of tips that will be given. They're going to talk about season 4 of Pure Hunting, and the local cable provider for that is Dish Network Channel 395. So Pure Hunting TV, they're going to be on Sportsman of Colorado next. Let's talk to John real quick. We got about a minute and a half. What's going on, John? There we go. How's that?
That's great.
Thank you.
I've got an 08
Chevy Silverado.
Okay.
It's a work truck, flatbed.
Yes.
And the flatbed was put on up there in Fort Morgan. Anyhow, the fuel hose, is
yes,
some kind of, I don't know what it is actually, but it's attached to with a hose clamp.
Correct.
Anyway, when you go to, I've had the truck a while.
They probably don't have the flatbed on right for the fuel neck, and it's not delivering the fuel right. Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes it'll back up and then, cough back at you.
Yeah, that's because of the flatbed and how they put it on. You need to have somebody rework the neck and how it actually goes down into the tank. And a good technician could actually fix that and figure out how to change that. They may have to extend or just change the positioning of the neck. But yeah, that's doable. That's fixable.
Okay, so would I be better off? Where would I go to do that? It wouldn't be so much a Chevy dealer, would it?
No, go to one of our Color Select facilities. Head over to Larry's over at Larry's Automotive in Westminster, Dorsey over in Arvada, or even the guys over in Boulder, John's 4x4. Any of those guys can help with that.
Hey, thank you for your help.
You're very welcome, John. I appreciate it. And actually, John's 4x4 in Boulder being just a straight shot down Highway 7 from you is probably as fast as any place. But guys, with that, we got to get out of here. Steve, man, thanks for coming in. Give the folks your phone number and your address where you're at.
Oh, we're at 3593 West Bowles in Littleton, and our phone number is 303-794-6700.
And Randy Hunt, I won't let you give your number out because you'll have tons of diesel comments and smaller trucks and what have you, but thanks for coming down.
Looking into the diesel.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Randy's a great resource. Anything else you need from Toyota, by all means, let me know, and I'll get Randy involved, and we'll get you taken care of. With that, we're going to be out here again. Sportsman's of Colorado coming up next. If it's Sunday, it's Jervis DeChico with the Wealth Map. Stay tuned for both of those shows, depending upon whether it's Saturday or Sunday. And we're going to be back next week. Same time, same place. Don't miss the car show coming up next week. Matt, our engineer, thanks so much for being with us. Larry Unger from Larry's Automotive, both of you guys, thanks. Hats off to you. And we're out here. God bless you. You guys all have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next Saturday right after Thanksgiving. Be safe, and don't forget the hotline. Call it. Tell us what you're really thankful for. 720-541-8255. Again, 720-541-TALK. We're out here. God bless. See you next week. Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including